Chapter 686. The Nine Lotus God Throne used all of its recovered power to block Luo Wuqing's attack. It was clear that its intelligence was extraordinary. It knew how to protect its master at all costs. It also understood that without the Yang family, it would be captured by other forces. Over the countless years, it had developed feelings for the Yang family. The two were like family. It would never betray them. Unfortunately, the little bit of power it had just recovered had come to an end. Facing Luo Wuqing's attack, it could no longer summon any power to resist. The only thing it could do was to send Yang Wu away before Luo Wuqing's power arrived and protect his life. Before it could send Yang Wu away, the power that was attacking it was diverted by another power. "It looks like you don't take this old woman seriously," the Yang family's great-grandmother shouted sternly. In the next moment, she moved like a ghost. A shocking palm print broke through the layers of space and blasted towards Luo Wuqing. The attack was too fast. Even Luo Wuqing could only block it with his senses. Luo Wuqing's body was covered in a star-patterned saint robe. It looked like a thin piece of green cloth. Although it was thin, its defensive power was many times stronger than the dragon scale armor and heavenly scale armor. However, after being hit by the Yang family's great-grandmother's palm, the star-patterned saint robe instantly shattered. A beautiful color bloomed. After the Yang family's great-grandmother gained the upper hand, she no longer held back. A series of dazzling attacks covered Luo Wuqing. Bang bang. Ordinary people could not catch her attack. They could only see palm prints appearing from time to time. Rolling waves of air rippled out. It was as if a dazzling moon had appeared in the sky. On the battlefield outside the crack, Xing Mingyang and Tian Pengdaoist saw this strange scene and cried out, "Jade Moon Mirror!" There was a jade moon above the star-pattern mark. That was a terrifying expert of the heaven-piercing realm. Any giant force would have such an expert. Some first-rate forces did not have such ability. Unless it was a first-rate force that had been around for tens of thousands of years, they might have such an existence. Among the 8 ancient clans, every clan had one during their peak. It was hard to believe that the Yang family, which was the weakest clan, had such a person. The Yang family's great-grandmother had appeared once 800 years ago. However, at that time, people had determined that she would die within 100 years. Who knew that she was still alive after 800 years? Luo Wuqing was forced into the sky by the Yang family's great-grandmother. Her hair was messy and her clothes were torn in many places. She continuously spat out blood. It seemed that she had been beaten badly. "What are you waiting for?" Luo Wuqing shouted to Xing Mingyang and Tian Pengdaoist. "Okay, I'll help you." Xing Mingyang responded and smashed his nether sun dharma wheel towards Yang family's great-grandmother. Sky-breaking dharma wheel. Xing Mingyang's attack had pushed the martial arts power he had cultivated to the extreme. Raging flames condensed on the dharma wheel, spinning wildly like a black sun. The crushing power was extremely terrifying, enough to destroy an area of several hundred miles. "You brat from the Xing family wants to exterminate my Yang family. I'll kill you first." Great-grandmother of the Yang family scolded and pointed her walking stick up. A phoenix lawn shadow rushed up. The phoenix lawn gently pecked the black sun, and the black sun instantly burst open inch by inch. The nether sun dharma wheel was also shaken back towards Xing Mingyang. Xing Mingyang could not shoot it in time. He could only use all his strength to meet the Luo Wuqing's dharma wheel. Puff! The Luo Wuqing's dharma wheel's rebounding power was too strong. After he caught the Luo Wuqing's dharma wheel with both hands, his arms were almost broken. A residual force rushed into his body and forced him to retreat 1,000 feet. He spat out blood. A level 7 celestial rune saint was defeated in one move. When Tian Pengdaoist saw this scene, he did not hesitate to ride his Tian Peng and quickly tore through space to escape. "Come and go as you wish. How can it be so easy?" The Yang family's great-grandmother glanced in the direction of Tian Pengdaoist and pointed her walking stick in his direction. The Luo Wuqing cried out and tore through the sky. Soon, Tian Pengdaoist's screams could be heard. Although the Yang family's great-grandmother's attack could not kill Tian Pengdaoist, it would take him at least a year to recover. At the same time, Xing Mingyang and Luo Wuqing hurriedly fled. They did not dare to stop. They were a whole level lower than the Yang family's great-grandmother. This gap could not be closed even if they had powerful talent. If they did not escape, they would be left behind. The Yang family's great-grandmother did not chase after them. When they fled, the aura on her body instantly retracted. There was even a trace of instability. She ordered, "Seal this world with your lives. Give me another quarter of an hour." With that, she did not care if the others were dead or alive. She once again plunged into the spatial crevice. If someone entered this place, they would definitely discover that there was another Yang family's great-grandmother here. And the great-grandmother who had just gone out to fight quickly merged with her. The one who had forced Luo Wuqing, Xing Mingyang, and Tian Pengdaoist to retreat was only the Yang family's great-grandmother's clone. Only Yang Wu was fortunate enough to see this. A clone was already so powerful. If she fully unleashed her strength, who knew how powerful her battle prowess would be? Unfortunately, after she used this clone technique, her vitality seemed to have been greatly affected, and her strength was also shrinking. Her high-spirited appearance from before had disappeared, and it was replaced with a grave qi. She should have died 700 years ago. However, she cultivated the tortoise-breathing secret technique and entered a state of suspended animation. That was how she managed to survive until now. Today, in order to save her son, she did not hesitate to attack. This caused her lifespan to quickly fade away. She probably did not have much time left after saving her son. Yang Wu cultivated the path of death, so he was very sensitive to the aura of death. When he felt a trace of grave aura from the Yang family's great-grandmother, his face immediately revealed a complicated expression. He felt sad. Even though the Yang family's great-grandmother had solved his problem, he had never considered himself a member of the Yang family. He did not have any feelings for the Yang family. He did not care about the life and death of the Yang family members. However, when the Yang family's great-grandmother produced grave aura, he did not feel good in his heart. This feeling seemed to be due to the connection of blood. Sigh. Yang Wu sighed softly in his heart. How could there be a mother who did not love her son? The Yang family's great-grandmother risked her life to save Yang Taihe. This maternal love was so great. Yang Wu could not help but think of his parents. He did not know how they were doing. After this is over, it's time to go back and see them. Yang Wu decided in his heart. Mother! Yang Taihe was on the verge of death, but he could still feel the changes in his mother. Her skeleton could not help but tremble. Don't worry, my son. I'm fine. I'll be able to save you very soon. The Yang family's great-grandmother responded kindly. Her hands constantly moved, and the power of the restriction dissipated. However, as the power of the restriction disappeared, her presence became weaker and weaker. Grandmother, the Nine Lotus God softly said as she gave a divine lotus seed to the Yang family's great-grandmother. A divine lotus seed could bring someone back from the dead and help them break through. However, the effect was very small for the Yang family's great-grandmother. She had taken many of them in the past. Little Lotus, there aren't many left. Keep it to save your life. It's all thanks to you that I'm still alive. In the future, follow that child. I think you and he are fated. The Yang family's great-grandmother did not accept the lotus seed. Instead, she responded with gratitude. The reason she was still alive today, aside from the turtle breath secret art, was also related to the Nine Lotus God. Grandmother, just eat it. I could still be reborn. The Nine Lotus God begged. The Nine Lotus God was cultivated by the Yang family's great-grandmother's husband. Without her husband's cultivation, it would not have grown to this day. Now that the Yang family's great-grandmother's lifespan was about to end, it was willing to use its life essence to protect her. Who said plants had no feelings? It treated the Yang family's great-grandmother like a mother and daughter. The Yang family's great-grandmother did not say anything else. She gently waved her hand and returned the lotus seed to the Nine Lotus God. She continued to focus on breaking the seals. Bang, bang. As the restrictive powers were broken one after another, the power supporting Yang Taihe's body weakened significantly. The power of the punishing flame began to overflow. The blue demoness in Yang Wu's heart began to stir, but Yang Wu didn't dare act recklessly. That was the holy flame, and he was afraid that the blue demoness wouldn't be able to refine it. Instead, it would be consumed by it. However, even though he did not take the initiative to cause trouble, the Xinghua took the initiative to provoke him. The spreading flames quickly burned him. The Yang family's great-grandmother could no longer divert her attention to help him get rid of this hidden danger. As for the Nine Lotus God, it was extremely weak. It could only wrap around Yang Wu and escape. It did not want to be touched by the Xinghua. Why is this flame coming for me? The divine lotus cried out. Yang Wu said, "Put me down. It's coming for me." "No, this is a sacred flame. Once it touches you, you'll die." The divine lotus replied, "I won't. Don't worry, I can take care of it." Yang Wu became confident. Just now, Lan Xiaoji had sent him a message saying that it could devour the Xinghua. This was why he was willing to take the risk. He believed in Lan Xiaoji. "Can you really?" The divine lotus asked. "Yes, quickly put me down. Otherwise, you'll die," Yang Wu said with certainty. In the next moment, the Nine Lotus God threw Yang Wu out of the lotus. It made him block the Xinghua that was chasing after it. It felt like it was using Yang Wu as a shield. Yang Wu cursed, "I told you to put me down, not to use me as a shield." Yang Wu did not have time to think. The black Xinghua was already coming for him. The flames were terrifying. Even if a saint touched it, they would be burned to ashes. Even though Yang Wu had just broken through to the high-level heavenly fish realm, he was still far from the Star Mark realm. "Lan Xiaoji, save me!" Yang Wu cried out. "Master, don't be afraid. I'll take care of it." Lan Xiaoji rushed out of the heart and replied excitedly. Chapter 687. Xinghua was a holy flame, but it was not a holy flame seed. It was just a strand of immortal flame, but Lan Yao Ji was not afraid of it. Lan Yao Ji had already gained intelligence. It desired more flame power, and the Xinghua in front of it was the best supplement for it. After Xinghua and Lan Yao Ji clashed, Xinghua covered Lan Yao Ji. Yang Wu was worried that Lan Yao Ji would be refined by Xinghua, but he soon sensed that Lan Yao Ji was greedily devouring Xinghua bit by bit, and its flame power was growing bit by bit. "Very good," Yang Wu exclaimed excitedly. "You actually have flames." Nine Lotus Divine, Throne exclaimed. "This is my heart's innate talent," Yang Wu said proudly. Nine Lotus Divine Throne did not say anything. It was also very weak. Very soon, Lan Yao Ji gradually devoured the Xinghua from before, and soon, more Xinghua flew over from Yang Tai's direction. As Yang family's great-grandmother destroyed the restriction, the Xinghua was collapsing, and most of them flew towards Lan Yao Ji. "Xiaoyan, prepare to save him." Suddenly, Yang family's great-grandmother shouted. Nine Lotus Divine Throne replied, "Yes, grandmother." At this moment, it did not forget to ask Yang Wu, "Can you use that power again?" Yang Wu said sadly, "I'm still very weak. I can't use it." Just now, he had risked his life to squeeze out a small portion of the immortal qi. If he did it again, he was afraid that the immortal qi would completely disappear and his immortal body would come to an end. Nothing was more important than his own life. Yang Wu would not joke about it. "All right, when you reach the Saint Realm, you should be able to control that power. I should be able to hold on until then." Nine Lotus Divine Throne said. Yang Wu nodded and did not say anything else. He watched Yang family's great-grandmother complete the last step. Yang Taihe still had 108 restrictions on him, and each restriction was stronger than the previous one. They were also extremely complicated, so they had to break the 108 restrictions in one go to save Yang Taihe. Otherwise, Yang Taihe would definitely be affected. The Yang family's great-grandmother stopped what she was doing. She closed her eyes and prepared to break through the last wave of restriction power. Yang Wu couldn't help but hold his breath, not daring to make the slightest sound for fear of affecting her. "My son is ready." Yang family's great-grandmother opened her eyes again and shouted, "Mother, just come at me. I can handle it." Yang Taihe sent out a weak divine sense message. In the next moment, Grandmother Yang's hands kept forming seals. Moonlight that was like jade appeared on her body. The The complicated seals intertwined, forming a net of holy qi. When a net was formed, it enveloped Yang Taihe. In the blink of an eye, this net cut off the power of all the restrictions and protected Yang Taihe and the ball of punishing fire. Rumble, rumble. Suddenly, the last of the restrictive power was disturbed, and it finally exploded. A terrifying aura surged out, and the destructive power it caused was extremely terrifying. Even an ordinary saint would be blasted into ashes. The Nine Lotus Divine Throne took the initiative to protect Yang Wu, allowing Yang Wu to escape this calamity. The Yang family's great-grandmother, who was standing beside the restriction, suffered the greatest impact. If she was still in her peak condition, these forces wouldn't have caused any harm to her. Unfortunately, she was already in her twilight years. Any wave of force would affect her life force. She endured the impact of the power and spat out blood. Her hands were still forming seals. Not only did she protect Yang Taihe, but she also separated the ball of punishing fire. Bang, bang. The power of punishing fire was extremely powerful. After it was completely separated, it bared its fangs and brandished its claws as it burned towards her. You burned my son for so many years. This hatred must be avenged. The Yang family's great-grandmother roared angrily. She opened her mouth and spat out a breath that reached the sky. It directly enveloped the flame and compressed it into a ball. No matter how it burned, it could not spread. Soon, it was compressed into a fireball. The power it emitted was still enough to make people's hearts palpitate. Child, this is your reward. Your heart's fire can devour it, and it will definitely become a holy flame. Grandmother Yang pointed at Yang Wu and said. Yang Wu was overjoyed and replied, "Thank you, grandmother. Little Yin, bring him back to the family." Grandmother Yang nodded lightly. Then, she used her power to protect Yang Taige's skeleton and carefully placed him on the Nine Lotus Divine Throne. She was prepared to bring him back to the Yang family before making a fuss. As for the dragon tomb in this space, she didn't even look at it. In her eyes, nothing was more important than her son's life. Although Yang Wu was incomparably envious of the dragon tomb, he suppressed his thoughts and didn't dare to think too much. He still didn't have the ability to break through this space and enter the dragon tomb to seize the dragon chi. The Yang family's great-grandmother protected Yang Taihe and brought him out of the spatial crack. 2 of the Yang family's 8 saints had fallen. Their saint souls had been destroyed, and there was no possibility of them being reborn. The others were all injured and wouldn't be able to recover without a year or so. Quickly go back to the family, Grandmother Yang ordered. Yes. Everyone responded and summoned their flying shuttle. They entered the shuttle together and prepared to embark on the return journey. At this moment, a horsetail whisk suddenly fell from the sky. It was incomparably huge, as if 3,000 whiskers had suddenly appeared in the sky. These whiskers even covered a large area of the world. It fiercely lashed down, and the astonishing power was as if the sky was collapsing. Many cracks were cut in the space, and it was abnormally terrifying. Bang! The flying shuttle was very fast and could travel through space, but couldn't dodge the attack of the horsetail whisk and was ruthlessly smashed down. The flying shuttle couldn't withstand the attack and directly disintegrated. Everyone in the shuttle was severely injured. Even the saints couldn't withstand it. 2 saint bodies exploded on the spot. Yang Wu, who was in the flying shuttle, was lucky to be the closest to Grandmother Yang. When the opponent's attack fell, he was protected by Grandmother Yang and avoided being directly obliterated. However, he didn't have it easy. He felt as if his body was about to explode, and his soul was in turmoil. He fainted on the spot. Xiao Yin, protect them and return to the family. Grandmother Yang pushed the Nine Lotus Divine Throne back in the direction of the Yang family. The Nine Lotus Divine Throne protected Yang Taihe and Yang Wu as they quickly flew back to the Yang family. Grandmother Yang vomited blood again, and her hair became incomparably messy. Her pair of old eyes released dense, killing intent. She sternly said, Old witch, do you really think that I, a widow and an orphan, could be bullied so easily?" In the next moment, She waved her walking stick horizontally to attack the horsetail whisk that was falling down again. The phoenix lawn attacked the sky with turbulent power, stirring up the wind and clouds, and resisted the horsetail whisk. Boom! An earth-shattering explosion sounded as if the sky had exploded. Tens of thousands of miles around were turned into nothingness. The phoenix lawn was blasted apart by the horsetail whisk. The power of the horsetail whisk weakened, but it still swept towards Grandmother Yang. Grandmother Yang tried to block it again. She blocked the power of the horsetail whisk, but she was forced back 3,000 feet. Her aura became even weaker as her vitality rapidly faded away. The horsetail whisk swept again, but this time it wasn't aimed at her. Instead, it went even further, directly towards the 9 Lotus Divine Throne. She had to make Yang Taihe stay. Grandmother Yang was furious. She rushed over at full speed and continuously struck out with her walking stick. Phoenixes fluttered in the air and blocked the horsetail whisk. The clouds in the sky were scattered. The horsetail whisk was like a blade, and the phoenixes cried out in grief. "Old witch, I want you dead." Grandmother Yang shouted with hatred. A war spear suddenly appeared beside her. A shocking aura pierced through the clouds. The horrifying aura enveloped tens of thousands of miles. The terrifying and sharp aura was like a pillar that supported the sky. A true dragon was roaring around the spear. It could suppress an entire region. The ancestral weapon of the Yang clan, the Dragon Rebel Spear. This was the spear of the first clan master of the Yang clan. It had once slaughtered gods and demons. It was stained with the blood of countless invincible experts. The spear ancestor was dead, but his will was eternal. This was the true ancestral spear of the Yang clan. Yang Jinan only had a replica. Many people in the Yang clan had refined the Dragon Rebel Spear, but they were all replicas. There would only ever be one real one. Ancestral Spear, please protect our descendants and slay the enemy. Grandmother Yang respectfully said to the Dragon Rebel Spear. The spear had already formed a weapon soul, so it could hear her words. It turned into a true dragon and furiously stabbed towards the direction of the horsetail whisk. Roar! The dragon's roar resounded for tens of thousands of miles. It was as if a true dragon had appeared in the sky above the Amei domain, rushing straight for the Golden Peak. 3,000 strands of the horsetail whisk continued to move, while a heaven-defying divine sword slashed down. Rumble! At this moment, the divine power of the Amei Golden Peak was activated. Tens of thousands of rays of light shrouded the sky above. However, a piece of the Amei Golden Peak was still broken by the true dragon. The main peak of the Amei Golden Peak continued to shake and almost collapsed. Many people on Mount Amei were killed by the shock waves. This was a calamity for the mountain. An old voice rang out. Does the Yang clan want to seek their own destruction? This voice was majestic and spread for tens of thousands of miles. Old Demoness, come and try. Even if my Yang clan is destroyed, I will make you pay a hefty price. Grandmother Yang domineeringly challenged from afar. The Dragon Rebel Spear returned. After all, no one was controlling it, so it couldn't attack continuously. I guess you won't live for long. The day you die will be the day your Yang clan is destroyed. Another voice came from the Golden Peak. I don't have much, but I still have plenty of lifespan. Grandmother Yang continued to speak domineeringly. She then held the spear and murmured, Ancestral Spear, protect my clan. The Dragon Rebel Spear turned into a dragon and quickly brought Grandmother Yang back to the Yang clan. A sigh came from a distant direction. Just a final struggle. Chapter 688. Yang clan's land. This was a land surrounded by mountains and rivers. The Yang clan mainly cultivated black tortoise battle chi and azure battle chi. The black tortoise battle chi had always been the mainstream battle chi of the Yang clan. The azure battle chi was just another branch of battle chi. Compared to the black tortoise battle chi, the azure battle chi was far inferior. Unfortunately, after Yang Tai's accident, the black tortoise branch became weaker and weaker. It wasn't until Yang Baiqiang rose up 800 years ago that they regained their strength. However, the good times didn't last long. Before Yang Baiqiang could grow up, he died in an accident. The Azure clan took the opportunity to seize power and smoothly took over the position of patriarch. In the past 800 years, the Black Tortoise branch's bloodline became thinner and thinner, while the Azure clan's bloodline was still vigorous. Although their battle chi wasn't as strong as the Black Tortoise branch, the Azure clan became more and more powerful and gave birth to sages. On the other hand, the Black Tortoise branch continuously lost powerful bloodline descendants. The status of the Black Tortoise branch in the Yang clan became worse and worse, causing the two branches to become more and more incompatible. Under such internal and external troubles, it was hard for the Yang clan not to decline. On this day, ominous signs continuously appeared in the Yang clan's land. Tears of blood fell from the sky, and lightning continuously intersected. Disasters occurred everywhere in the Yang clan's land, and tens of thousands of people died. This was the death of a sage. In one day, the Yang clan lost 4 sages, including the sage Yang Mingfa. The fates of the people related to these 4 sages were all affected, causing them to have problems and even death. For a time, the entire Yang clan was in mourning. They didn't know what had happened. Why did the sages of the Yang clan suddenly fall? There weren't many sages to begin with. Now that they had suffered losses, the Yang clan's vitality would be greatly damaged. What would they do if a great enemy attacked? In the Yang clan's forbidden area, the 9 Lotus God throne brought Yang Taiha and Yang Wu to a pool. The water in this pond was actually a sacred spring. The Swan Knee's aura was constantly rising, and lotus flowers were blooming everywhere. There were also carps swimming in the pond, and they were very happy. When the 9 Lotus Divine throne fell into the center of the pool, the holy chi quickly gathered toward it. Unfortunately, the holy spring was very weak and couldn't provide much help. However, for Yang Taiha, it was like a sweet dew after a long time. A bit of devouring power was released from the glabella of his skeleton, absorbing the thin strands of holy chi. The light between his glabella became even brighter, and his skeleton was also infused with a layer of holy chi, making it even more crystalline. However, this could not help him regenerate his flesh and blood. Now, he was only left with a trace of his saint's soul and skeleton. If he wanted to restore his physical body, he would need extraordinary means and high-level sacred items. Apart from that, if he wanted to live, he would need the power of his bloodline to help him regenerate his flesh and blood. That way, there would be hope. At this moment, the Yang family's great-grandmother returned with the Dragon Rebel Spear. When she returned with the Dragon Rebel Spear, her body was on the verge of collapse. The Tun Chi around her was even heavier. "Mother, how are you?" Yang Taiha asked anxiously. "My son, I won't die for a while." The Yang family's great-grandmother forced a smile. Her situation was very bad. She could only last for a month at most. Thankfully, she managed to save her son. The Yang family's great-grandmother was in a hurry to restore Yang Taiha's body. She quickly took out a large number of sacred items from her Ring of Cosmos to help Yang Taiha recover. Every single one of these sacred items would make anyone's eyes go red. There was a 1,000-year-old blood jade, a 1,000-year-old lingji, and a 10,000-year-old stargrass. "Mother, recover your body first. Don't worry about me," Yang Taiha said with difficulty. Even though he'd escaped danger, he could only live for a bit longer at most. If he didn't have something to bring the dead back to life, he would only die. The Yang family's great-grandmother had many sacred items, but not many were of much use to Yang Taiha. After a round of selection, she took out a jade artifact containing blood. She revealed a bashful expression and murmured, "This is your father's blood. It can help you recover." After saying that, she prepared to pour the blood on Yang Taiha. Yang Taiha opened his mouth to stop her. "Mother, don't be in such a hurry. My bones still contain the remnant power of Xinghua. I need to completely expel it before I can absorb father's blood. There's still remnants of power seeping into your bones?" The Yang family's great-grandmother asked with a grave expression. "Yes, let's wake the child up. He might have a way," Yang Taiha replied. "This child is indeed fated to be with us. He should be of our bloodline. I feel very close to him when I see him. The power of his bloodline is probably no weaker than yours. If you want to completely recover, you need his blood. The Yang family's great-grandmother glanced at the unconscious Yang Wu and said with a gleam in her eyes, "Mother, you're not thinking of using him as a living sacrifice, are you? Why not? If it weren't for you and me, he wouldn't have been born. Since he has such an excellent bloodline, it's his fortune to be sacrificed to save you. In any case, I'll apologize to him on the road to the Yellow Springs." "Absolutely not. How can I, Yang Taihe, let my descendant be sacrificed to be reborn? I'll live in guilt for the rest of my life. Mother, please don't do this. If you don't do this, you'll accompany me on the road to the Yellow Springs. If the Yang family still needs someone to hold down the fort, as long as you recover to your peak, I believe you can take over my position. This way, I can give your father an explanation when I go to the Yellow Springs." Yang Taihe said seriously again, "Mother, don't think too much. I have a way to recover. Wake him up first. You're not allowed to lie to your mother," the Yang family's great-grandmother said seriously. "Don't worry. I haven't gotten my revenge yet. I'm not willing to die," Yang Taihe replied. And so, the Yang family's great-grandmother woke Yang Wu up. Yang Wu had been knocked unconscious by the Horsetail Whisk's power on the flying shuttle. His body was bleeding, and he was heavily injured. But after a nap, his injuries were mostly healed. It had to be said that Yang Wu's immortal body was very strong. "Granny, we were safe?" Yang Wu asked as he patted his head, which was still swollen. "Good child, we're home," the Yang family's great-grandmother said with a kind face. If Yang Wu knew that this granny wanted to sacrifice him, he wouldn't think she was kind. That's good, that's good. Senior Taihe has been saved, right?" Yang Wu asked, feeling lucky. "There, he's over there. But his situation isn't very good. He needs your help," the Yang family's great-grandmother said. Yang Wu looked in the direction that the Yang family's great-grandmother was pointing. He saw Yang Taihe's crystal skeleton sitting cross-legged on the Nine Lotus God throne. "How can I help?" Yang Wu asked. Yang Taihe didn't wait for his mother to speak. He said, "Mother, leave father's blood. I want to talk to him." The Yang family's great-grandmother hesitated, but she still left the essence blood. She held Yang Wu's hand and said, "Child, I'll leave Taihe to you. I hope you can help him come back to life." With that, she disappeared from his sight. Her grave aura was very heavy. She had to get rid of it quickly so that she could live longer. Even so, in the Forbidden Land, there was nothing that she couldn't sense. If anything happened to Yang Wu, she wouldn't mind sacrificing him to help him come back to life. "Young man, thank you for saving me," Yang Taihe said gratefully. "This is all because of Senior's good fortune," Yang Wu replied humbly. "I still need you to help me recover my body. Please continue to help me," Yang Taihe said. "Senior, please tell me. As long as I can help, I will do my best," Yang Wu said seriously. "All right, absorb the punishing fire in my skeleton first. Don't absorb it all at once. Absorb the punishing fire in my skull first. Then pour the punishing fire in my body, and then pour the punishing fire in my body. You must do it in an orderly manner. Don't be hasty, otherwise my skeleton will be completely destroyed because of you absorbing the punishing fire. At that time, I will be dead for sure," Yang Taihe instructed. "Okay, I will be careful," Yang Wu agreed without thinking. Blue Demonis was his heart fire, and he was an alchemist. It wasn't hard to control the fire. "God Lotus, after he finishes absorbing my fire, you must use your power to protect my skeleton. You cannot let it break," Yang Taihe said to the Nine Lotus God throne. "Don't worry, I know what to do," the Nine Lotus God replied. "Then let's begin." Yang Wu picked up the blood on the jade and carefully moved toward Yang Taihe. He came to the Nine Lotus God throne and summoned Blue Demonis. He pointed at Yang Taihe's bones and said, "Suck out all the fire here first. Don't hurt him." "Yes, master," Blue Demonis responded and circled around Yang Taihe's bones. It created a powerful suction force and sucked out the fire hidden in Yang Taihe's skull. Yang Wu saw Blue Demonis sucking out a lot of fire and quickly said, "Be careful. Slow down." He was afraid that Blue Demonis would use too much force and hurt Yang Taihe's bones. Blue Demonis did indeed slow down. Strands of black fire seeped out of Yang Taihe's bones. Who would have thought that there were so many flames in the bones? After these flames were extracted, Yang Tai's bones began to show signs of collapsing, which gave Yang Wu a big fright. In his mind, he could not help but imagine the appearance of Yang Tai's bones after they collapsed, and his heart was filled with panic. Master, I've finished absorbing the fire here. Blue demonis transmitted to Yang Wu. Yang Wu shuddered and quickly came back to his senses. He took out the blood essence from the jade and slowly poured it on Yang Tai's skull. Yang Tai's glabella produced a suction force that quickly absorbed the blood essence and seeped into his skull. His skull had a tinge of blood color, and he transmitted a message with difficulty. Continue to absorb the flames in the other bones. Quick, absorb the fire in the other bones. Yang Wu quickly ordered Blue Demonis. Blue Demonis immediately did as she was told. The remaining strands of Punisher fire became its food. Pour the blood essence. Okay. Chapter 689. The Yang family's forbidden grounds. The Yang family's great-grandmother, Gong Salon, had been monitoring her son and Yang Wu's actions. She was afraid that Yang Wu would be careless and cause her son's death. Fortunately, seeing that Yang Wu could control the heart fire, she was slightly relieved. If Taiha can really get better, I will reward this child. Gong Salon thought to herself. After Lan Aoji released strands of Punisher fire sucking, Yang Wu continuously poured his essence blood on it. There was a lot of essence blood in this bottle, but pouring it on Yang Taiha was like pouring a cup of water on a burning cart of firewood. Fortunately, Yang Taiha had lost the burning of Punisher fire and obtained the essence blood of the same origin. He had finally gotten through this crisis. All that was left was for him to recover. The essence blood could help his bones recover some vitality. The 9 Lotus Divine Throne also provided an endless amount of holy chi. There was also the holy spring that automatically poured onto his bones. His bones gave off bursts of holy light and gradually regained some vitality. All right, thank you. I will slowly recover on my own. Yang Taiha said gratefully. Then I wish Senior Taiha a quick recovery. Yang Wu took back Lan Aoji and blessed Yang Taiha. Yes, I will. Yang Taiha still replied very weakly. Not waiting for Yang Wu to leave, Gong Salon appeared once again. She bowed to Yang Wu and said, Child, Grandma begs you again. I hope you can use your essence blood to help him recover faster. Mother, you can't. Yang Taiha said anxiously. Little Lien, Taiha is too tired. Let him rest first. Gong Salon said to the 9 Lotus Divine Throne. Then the 9 Lotus Divine Throne's petals wrapped around Yang Taiha, isolating him from the outside world. The 9 Lotus Divine Thrones still had a lot of holy chi. It was enough to help Yang Taiha slowly recover, but it was impossible for him to recover to his peak. Grandma, what else can I help with? Just tell me. Yang Wu patted his chest and said. He planned to be a good person until the end. Perhaps he could earn some great rewards. He needs your essence blood to regenerate his flesh. Gong Salon looked at Yang Wu and said seriously. Yang Wu shrank back and said, This is not possible. Activating the demon taming order had already consumed a lot of his blood essence. Even if he had broken through to the advanced heavenly fish realm, this amount of blood essence could not be replenished in a short period of time. If he were to consume more blood essence, he did not know how to replenish it. You, him, and I share the same bloodline, so only you can help him. Take it as Grandma begging you. As long as you help him this time, Grandma will definitely not treat you unfairly. Gong Salon revealed a trace of pleading expression. After pausing for a moment, she added, I don't have much time left. Do you have the heart to let Grandma send off the black-haired person? Yang Wu looked at the pitiful old granny and thought of how well she had treated him before. Moreover, they were under her roof. His brain heated up as he said, Okay, since Granny says so, then I'll try. However, I can't guarantee that it will be effective. Hee, with your words, Grandma can be at ease. It will definitely be effective. Gong Salon revealed a smile that was uglier than crying. And should we start now? Don't be in such a hurry. Go test your bloodline first. Fonger, come over here. Take my orders and bring this young master to test his bloodline. After Gong Xilan's voice fell, a blue wand flew over from who knows where. This blue wand had a delicate figure and a body of blue feathers that were extremely dazzling and beautiful. Those arrogant eyes carried a trace of moving brilliance. Very quickly, she transformed into a human form. A beautiful woman dressed in blue gracefully appeared in front of Gong Xilan and Yang Wu. She slightly bowed and said, "Yes, grandmother." Blue Wand possessed the power of the Phoenix clan's bloodline. The blue wand in front of them had the appearance of a phoenix, so the Phoenix clan's bloodline was definitely not low. Therefore, Gong Xilan named her Foam. After transforming into a human form, her figure was very tall. She was almost as tall as Yang Wu. Among women, she could be considered as a crane in a flock of chickens. Her body was on the skinny side, revealing a sparkling and translucent bony feeling. However, the places that should be plump were still plump. No matter which angle one looked at it from, it was still so perfect. "Child, you and Foam take a trip. Also, take the opportunity to rest for 2 days. Granny has her own arrangements." Gong Xilan patted Yang Wu's palm and said, "Okay, Granny." Yang Wu lightly replied. Then he followed this cold and arrogant blue phoenix and left. When Yang Wu and the blue phoenix just left, Gong Xilan's breath quickly shrunk. Her body almost fell down. Fortunately, she had the support of her walking stick. Who would have thought that the blood of the most powerful grandmother would decline to this extent? The Yang clan's land was quite spacious. It was surrounded by mountains and rivers. The profound qi was abundant. The construction was luxurious, and the security was tight. When Yang Wu came out with the blue phoenix, he felt many divine senses sweep past him. This made him feel very unnatural. These large powers have deep foundations. If one day my Marquis clan also has such foundations, how good would that be? Yang Wu was a little lost in thought. He did not notice that the blue phoenix who had been walking in front of him suddenly stopped. He was only a step away from her and directly bumped into her back. Her perky buttocks and soft back were intimately touched. The blue phoenix's fire qi filled the air. A powerful aura was released from her body. Yang Wu was completely unable to withstand it and was directly sent flying. Yang Wu was in for tragedy. His body smashed into a fake mountain. The fake mountain was smashed into pieces. His body fell into the water like a drowned rat. Luckily, this was only a strand of blue phoenix's qi. She had held back most of her strength. Otherwise, Yang Wu would have been in a worse state. Yang Wu crawled out of the water and said, I didn't do it on purpose. If you dare mess around again, I'll castrate you." Blue Phoenix glared at Yang Wu and said sternly. Blue Phoenix had been by Gong Xilan's side since she was young. Even though Gong Xilan had been in seclusion for a long time, her position in the Yang clan was not ordinary. No one dared to disrespect her. Yang Wu shuddered from Blue Phoenix's glare. He said gloomily, "Who told you to suddenly stop? I didn't do it on purpose." Blue Phoenix was dissatisfied with Yang Wu's attitude. She was about to attack Yang Wu again. Yang Wu quickly said, "Don't mess around. Grandmother is still waiting for me to go back and save her." Blue Phoenix immediately calmed down and said coldly, "Hurry up and come with me." Yang Wu circulated his Xian mantra and absorbed the water from his body. He followed behind Blue Phoenix again. This time, he was much more daring. He directly looked at Blue Phoenix's beautiful back. That perfect curve, that round butt, and slender legs. She could be called a beauty. During this period of time, Shu Yujun had always been by his side. However, he had never had any improper thoughts. He only wanted to increase his strength as quickly as possible. He wanted to gain a foothold in the transcendent realm before returning to the mortal world. Therefore, no matter how beautiful Shu Yujun was, he did not have the heart to admire her. Today, Blue Phoenix had brought out a trace of suppressed primal urges. He really wanted to push the girl in front of him down. "Umipa, she's a demon, and I'm a human. Don't think too much. It's better to think about Miss Shu." Yang Wu's calmness was still good. He quickly put away his improper thoughts. Although he had experienced many life and death battles, and even fought against saints, he was still a hot-blooded young man. Yang Wu followed Blue Phoenix through a bluestone path. They arrived in front of a solemn pavilion. This was the Yang family's blood testing hall. In front of the blood testing hall, there were some children between 5 and 10 years old. There were also some adults looking after them. Their faces were filled with anxiety. It seemed like they were waiting for something important to happen. A loud voice came from the hall. Yang Wangyi, bloodline talent 20%, cultivation talent 70%, low grade. Yang Nongyue, bloodline talent 30%, cultivation talent 80%, medium grade. Yang Jiangla, bloodline talent 25%, cultivation talent 80%, low grade. The children walked out of the hall one by one. Some were happy, some were sad. The density of these children's bloodline represented their future status in the Yang family. Their cultivation talent was not valued. In the battle race, every child had a lot of cultivation talent. As long as they did not have a special body, they cared more about the inheritance of their bloodline. When they saw Qing Feng and Yang Wu, they were confused. They didn't know where the handsome man and the beautiful woman came from. They didn't know where they came from. An old man quickly came out from the hall to welcome them. "Miss Blue Phoenix, please come in." This old man was the elder in charge of the blood testing hall. Yet, he seemed to bow and scrape in front of this beautiful woman. Everyone present was puzzled. They were all wondering which family's daughter was so arrogant. Blue Phoenix brought Yang Wu into the hall. Blue Phoenix transmitted her voice to the old man. "Clear the hall." The old man was in a difficult position. Before he could say anything, Blue Phoenix emphasized, "This is the great-grandmother's idea." The old man quickly ordered, "Everyone go back first. We will come back tomorrow." Everyone was confused. However, they did not dare to question. The blood testing hall had a high status in the clan. No one wanted to offend them. Very quickly, the adults left with their children. Qing Feng glanced at the deacons and servants who were still in the hall. She winked at the elder of the blood testing hall. The elder hurriedly left, and so did the deacons and servants. "Bring out the best blood testing stone. You can test his bloodline yourself," Qing Feng said to the elder of the blood testing hall. The blood testing hall elder was stunned for a moment. Then, he glanced at Yang Wu and hurriedly ran to the back hall. He took out the largest blood testing stone and placed it in a groove. This groove contained an array, and the blood testing stone was the eye of the array. It could be used to test the power of the bloodline. "Let's invite the clan's sacrifice," Blue Phoenix said again. The blood testing hall elder's expression changed slightly. He didn't dare to hesitate and personally brought out the table in the center of the hall. There were 2 small stone figures enshrined on the table. The left one was the ancestor of the Black Tortoise bloodline, while the right one was the ancestor of the Azure bloodline. There were sandalwood incense and sacred offerings placed in front of the table. It was extremely solemn. Blue Phoenix bowed to the table. She pointed at Yang Wu and said, "Test his blood." Chapter 690. Inside the blood testing hall, there was a blood testing array. This was an ancient array left behind by their ancestors. The blood testing stone contained the bloodline and will of the Yang family's ancestors. When the descendants dripped their blood into the stone, it would display different colors and determine the concentration of the bloodline. This blood testing stone looked like a black tortoise. It had a tortoise's body and a snake's head. It raised its head and breathed in heaven and earth. There were different patterns engraved on the tortoise's back, which was where the color value was displayed. Other than the blood testing stone, there was also the talent testing stone. The talent testing stone was a spirit stone that all the major forces in the transcendent world possessed. Generally, it would only test the talent of youths and children under the age of 16. After the age of 16, the significance of testing the talent of those above the age of 16 was not great. This was because after this age, one's foundation would have been set and their strength would have been fixed. It would not be easy to accurately test the talent of those above the age of 16. This time, Yang Wu's main purpose was to test his bloodline. He thought that a drop of blood essence would be enough to test it clearly. Who knew that he would be caught by the blood testing hall's elder, who ruthlessly cut his wrist? The blood testing hall's elder was powerful. Yang Wu did not even have the chance to react before his wrist started bleeding. A large amount of blood dripped onto the blood testing stone. Dark blue bloodline, at least more than 50%. The blood testing hall's elder said excitedly. He stayed in the blood testing hall all year round to test the blood of the younger generation. With his experienced eyesight, he could tell at a glance that Yang Wu's bloodline was extraordinary. When the blood flowed into the blood testing stone, the blood testing stone seemed to come alive. The black tortoise's eyes seemed to have an additional life force. A light was released from its back, shining and dazzling. There were 10 engravings on the back of the blood testing stone, each representing a different degree of color. These were all blue engravings, from light to dark. A blue engravings that reached 1/4 engravings were 10% of the bloodline's concentration. A blue engravings that reached 2/4 engravings were 20% of the bloodline's concentration, and so on. A blue engravings that reached 10/4 engravings were 100% of the bloodline's concentration. The Yang clan had gone through countless years. Generation after generation, they had intermarried with women outside the clan. The bloodline of their descendants had been constantly diluted, especially when the Yang clan no longer had any heaven-reaching experts. The power of their bloodline was gradually abandoned. For so many years, the Yang family had used different ancient methods to maintain the purity of their bloodline. They had even sacrificed the bloodline power of 2 or 3 generations just to help a single person. This was an extremely high risk. Even those with the same bloodline would reject each other. For Yang Ba to be able to succeed was already a stroke of luck. Now that Yang Wu's blood had just dripped down, the color of the blood testing stone had already exceeded 50%. The blood testing hall elder was incomparably excited. The black tortoise lineage hadn't been able to find a youth with a bloodline strength that exceeded 50% for nearly 10 years. Now that there was a youth with a bloodline strength that exceeded 50%, it was worth his excitement. However, this wasn't the end. The color of the stone was slowly moving back. Soon, it exceeded 60%, and the color was getting thicker and thicker. Moreover, it was still increasing. The blood testing hall elder stared at the blood testing stone. His other hand was holding onto Yang Wu's wrist as he continued to bleed. Yang Wu struggled and shouted, "My blood is about to run dry." Only then did the blood testing hall elder let go of Yang Wu in fright. The blood testing hall elder didn't pay attention to Yang Wu. Instead, he continued to stare at the blood testing stone and said excitedly, "It's almost over 70%. Almost over 70%. He longed for Yang Wu's bloodline power to exceed 70%. It was as if he was as happy as when his own bloodline reached 70%. Qing Feng's beautiful eyes also flashed with a trace of astonishment. However, she didn't lose her composure like the blood testing hall elder. She thought to herself, if the person that grandmother brought back didn't have any ability, then it wouldn't be worth her coming out. When the color of the bloodline reached 70%, the blood testing stone suddenly let out a roar. Roar! A huge black tortoise shadow rose into the sky and rushed out of the blood testing hall. It appeared above the Yang clan. It looked so mighty and valiant. It roared again and again, displaying its unparalleled bloodline power. It shocked everyone in the Yang clan. The black tortoise had become a spirit. The change in the blood testing hall. This is the sign of the black tortoise becoming a spirit. Just which family's child's bloodline power reached 70%. He's too lucky. Good, very good. Our black tortoise bloodline finally has a child with 70% bloodline power after 100 years. We must protect him well. Let's hurry over and see just which family's Lin has received the protection of our ancestors. We must nurture him well. In the future, he won't be inferior to the Sea Dragon King Elder. I didn't think that after the Holy Death, our family would have a descendant with 70% bloodline power. It can be said that fortune and misfortune come together. The black tortoise bloodline of the Yang clan was very excited. Many people rushed towards the blood testing hall, but they were all stopped by the blood testing hall. Any Lin, with 70% bloodline power was a target of protection. Even within the clan, it was better to not know too much. These years, the clan's prodigies had mysteriously fallen. This was a loss that the Yang clan couldn't bear. The Yang clan's azure bloodline revealed a complicated expression. Some were happy, some were jealous, and some were disdainful. At this moment, a force floated and directly covered the black tortoise's spirit. The Yang clan's people couldn't see this change anymore. In fact, the change wasn't over. The color of the symbol was still increasing. It was actually heading towards the 80% mark. The blood testing hall's elder was so excited that he was dancing. He exclaimed, "Good, very good. 80% bloodline power. I haven't seen this in 1,000 years. The heavens are really protecting our Yang clan." Qing Feng also revealed a surprised expression. She clearly didn't expect Yang Wu's bloodline power to be so strong. At this moment, 3 figures appeared at the entrance of the blood testing hall. These 3 were the Yang clan saints. Moreover, they were from the black tortoise bloodline. Their eyes shone as they looked at the blood testing stone. They revealed an incomparably excited expression. "Good, this bloodline power is very pure. Very good," one of them said as he stroked his beard. Another person asked, "Where's the child of my clan? Where is he? Let this saint see his talent." "There's no child here, only this youth. It can't be his bloodline power, right?" The third saint's gaze fell on Yang Wu. The wound on Yang Wu's wrist had already healed. Others really couldn't tell that the bloodline power came from his body. When the 3 saints noticed Qing Feng, their expressions changed. Qing Feng represented their grandmother. This was a fact that everyone in the Yang clan knew. "Miss Qing Feng," one of the saints said to Qing Feng. Before he could finish his sentence, Qing Feng interrupted him and said, "If you have something to say, say it later." The saint shut his mouth. The spirit of the black tortoise continued to change. It was actually like a real living being. It constantly roared and moved its limbs as if it was carrying out some kind of peerless battle technique. It had reached the level of the black tortoise battle soul. The black tortoise battle soul was like having the black tortoise on your body. It could explode with incredible battle strength. Normally, the Yang clan's battle soul could explode with at least 30 times the battle strength. In a battle with a cultivator of the same level, how terrifying would it be if the Yang clan's battle soul could increase their battle strength by at least 30 times? At the same time, this meant that Yang Wu had the ability to awaken the black tortoise battle soul. It was just that it hadn't been revealed yet. The number on the blood test stone was still changing. It was a pity that it didn't reach the 9th mark. It was still half the distance. 85% bloodline concentration. This hasn't happened in 1,000 years. The blood test hall elder exclaimed, "Good, very good. This child must be hidden away immediately. We must use all of our resources to raise him." "That's right. While our Yang clan still has some foundation, we can raise him into a saint within 100 years. The position of a new clan head will definitely be his." "Calm down. Let's take a look at the child first." The 3 saints' eyes lit up as they quietly discussed. They quietly defined this bloodline as the best candidate to raise the child. The blood test hall elder looked back at Yang Wu and said with joy, "Young man, you're very good. The future of a Yang clan depends on you." Yang Wu didn't have time to answer before he felt someone looking at him. He looked up at the table and saw that the little person on the table seemed to have opened its eyes. A figure quietly rose up from the little person on the table. Suddenly, a majestic pressure from the ancient times was generated. Other than the spiritual pressure, there was also the pressure from the bloodline. The saint's chi that was shielding the Yang clan's black tortoise bloodline subconsciously knelt down. Even those from the azure bloodline knelt down one after another. When the 3 saints in the blood test hall saw this domineering figure appear, they exclaimed in unison, "Ancestor." They heavily knelt down without any hesitation. This person in front of them was their ancestor's will. Qing Feng hesitated for a moment before kneeling down on one knee. She didn't even raise her head. That imposing figure seemed to emit a boundless light that forced everyone to close their eyes. Only Yang Wu was still standing there stupidly. Looking at the figure that appeared, the blood in his body boiled to the extreme. The spirit of the black tortoise appeared, and he had an inexplicable sense of intimacy with the other party. This was an innate feeling. At the same time, Yang Wu's bloodline power was rapidly changing, and the mark on the blood test stone moved again. It was actually pushed to the 10th mark in a spur of energy, which belonged to the perfect mark, a bloodline with 100% purity. The spirit of the black tortoise seemed to have come back to life. It could fight and possess all kinds of battle talents. It could even form clones and use all kinds of wondrous techniques. It quickly entered the Dao flower of Yang Wu's divine court. Of the two remaining Dao flowers, one quietly turned blue and branded with the image of a black tortoise. All of the battle talents from before were left behind. This was the true inheritance of the bloodline. Yang Wu had obtained the most perfect inheritance of a Yang clan. This was definitely the first person in the Yang clan in 10,000 years. The imposing figure seemed to have glanced at Yang Wu and soon disappeared between heaven and earth. Chapter 691. The Ancestor of the Yang Clan. This was an old monster who had been sitting in ancient times for who knows how many tens of thousands of years. His will actually still remained, which was enough to show how powerful he was when he was alive. However, since ancient times, the Yang clan had never activated the will of this ancestor. In the clan's historical records, there are only a few instances where the will of the Yang clan ancestor was activated. Those who had activated the will of the Yang clan ancestor were all extremely powerful figures of the Yang clan. Each of them was extremely talented and had a bright future ahead of them. After tens of thousands of years, someone from a Yang clan had finally activated the will of the ancestor once again. This was no small matter. As long as the will of the ancestor was not extinguished, their bloodline power would not be extinguished. His appearance had stimulated the bloodline power of all the people of the black tortoise bloodline. Those who were below the sage realm had their bloodline power enhanced to varying degrees. This was the best gift for the Yang clan. It could help them to have a spurt of improvement, and the future generations would also be indirectly affected. At this moment, the people of the black tortoise bloodline of the Yang clan cheered to their heart's content. The ancestor's spirit has manifested. My bloodline power seems to have changed. My bloodline power seems to have increased by 10%. I should be able to condense battle chi. I have condensed the shadow of the black tortoise. My bloodline power has reached 50%. This is great. Thank you for the gift from the ancestor. It must be the ancestor who activated our bloodline power. Everyone's bloodline has changed. The heavens are really protecting our Yang clan. The heavens are really protecting our Yang clan. This is great. It won't be long before our Yang clan will definitely be able to return to our heyday. The people of the black tortoise bloodline of the Yang clan had been sullen for too long. At this moment, they felt a sense of exaltation. It was as if they could already see a strong future. The mood of the majority of the Yang family's Azure lineage became somewhat depressed. Since ancient times, their Azure bloodline had only been a subsidiary of the black tortoise bloodline. Although they were all members of the Yang family, they had been suppressed by the black tortoise bloodline for a long time. Their hearts were very unbalanced. So ever since they gained power 800 years ago, they had been thinking of ways to suppress the black tortoise bloodline. A lot of resources had been given to them. They were growing stronger, but the black tortoise bloodline was getting worse and worse. If it weren't for the black tortoise bloodline's tenacity, they would have been driven out of the family long ago. Now that the black tortoise bloodline had been completely awakened and strengthened, this was undoubtedly very bad news for their Azure Sky bloodline. In less than 100 years, the resources they occupied would probably all return to the black tortoise bloodline. The saints of the Azure Heaven lineage were all thinking about how to change all of this. Humans were all greedy. If they already had something, they definitely wouldn't want to give it back, even if it was their own family members. In the Yang family's forbidden grounds, Gong Xilan was once again awakened. Her old eyes were filled with disbelief as she muttered, "Even if it's the ancestral bloodline, it shouldn't be able to awaken the will of the Yang family's ancestor. Could it be that this child was born with 100% ancestral bloodline?" Yang Wu himself didn't know what was going on. He felt that it should have something to do with his constitution. He had an immortal body and had immortal energy. This was what made him different from the others. Perhaps this was what stimulated the will of the Yang family's ancestor to awaken. In the blood-testing hall, Qing Feng, the three saints, and the blood-testing hall elder all came back to their senses. They all seemed to be in a dream, as if what they had just seen wasn't real. The first one to come back to her senses was Qing Feng. She grabbed Yang Wu and prepared to leave. Qing Feng wasn't a member of the Yang family, but she knew all of the secrets of the Yang family. Yang Wu had 100% pure bloodline. This meant that his position in the Yang family would be extraordinary. If this spread out, his life would be in danger. She couldn't make the decision on this matter. She had to go back and ask her grandmother. Before she could take Yang Wu away, the three saints came back to their senses. They stopped Qing Feng and looked at Yang Wu. They were sure that the young man in front of them was the one who did the blood test. He wasn't one of the other kids. "Move aside," Qing Feng yelled at the three saints. "Young Miss Qing Feng, let this youth stay. We need to know which family he is from." The oldest saint faintly said. This saint was called Yang Liuyu. The other two were called Yang Liushi and Yang Mingrong. Their statuses were above Yang Mingfa. When they went to save Yang Taihe, only Yang Liuyu went. The other two didn't go. It wasn't that they didn't want to go, but that the Yang family's ancestor had asked them to stay. She brought more saints from the Azure bloodline. After all, the Azure bloodline had more saints than the Black Tortoise bloodline. Gong Xilan was very clear about this. She didn't want the imbalance between the two bloodlines to worsen. "This is the person my ancestor asked me to bring for the blood test. You dare to keep him?" Qing Feng said as she stared at the three saints. "We won't go against our ancestors' wishes. However, we have a right to know about this youth situation. We have to do everything we can to protect him and help him become stronger," Yang Liuyu said seriously. Yang Liushi also said in a deep voice, "That's right. Our Yang family has a descendant with ancestral awakening. Blood Hall Elder, this is a serious dereliction of duty on your part." The Blood Hall Elder's body trembled. He hurriedly bowed and said, "Saint Elder, please calm down. This youth is very unfamiliar to me. It's his first time here. He might not be from the inner family. Otherwise, there would be records of him. Now is not the time to be tangled up in this matter. This news must be immediately sealed. Let's go with him to see our ancestor," Yang Mingrong said in a deep voice. "Up to you. Hurry up and get out of the way. I want to bring him back to see our ancestor," Qing Feng said indifferently. She pulled Yang Wu away from the three saints and quickly headed towards the forbidden area. The three saints also quickly followed. Among them, Yang Liuyu said in a clear voice, "All family members are not allowed to act rashly. Properly feel the changes in your bloodline. Today's matter must forever be buried in your hearts. You are not allowed to leak it out. If anyone leaks it out, they will be charged with the crime of betraying the family." The Yang family had been in decline for far too long. It wasn't easy for them to recover. They definitely couldn't allow any more changes to happen. "Yes, Saint Elder," all the Yang family members cried out. Very quickly, they arrived at Gong Xilan's closed-door cultivation area. She was currently sitting on top of a saint flower. This saint flower's rank was not as high as the 9 Lotus Divine Throne, but in any case, it was still able to increase her vitality. At her level, the effect of not having a divine artifact was no longer obvious to her. "Greetings, ancestor." The three saints came in front of Gong Xilan and respectfully bowed. "No need for formalities," Gong Xilan replied. She didn't wait for the three saints to ask before she cut to the chase and asked, "Yang Wu, this child's bloodline has returned to its ancestor?" Qing Feng said from his side, "Yes, ancestor. His blood value has reached 100%. Yang Liushi agreed and said, "The ancestors was also triggered by him. Ancestor, could this child be Taihe's bloodline?" The three saints knew that Gong Xilan had come out of closed-door cultivation to save Yang Wu. They couldn't help but think of some possibilities. They thought that Yang Wu might be Yang Taihe's son or grandson. He is indeed Taihe's bloodline. However, the age gap is a bit too far. This child's bloodline can return to its ancestor's spirit, Gong Xilan replied. Then she said, "You guys can leave first. I will talk to this child. Later, I will tell you what to do." "Yes, ancestor." The three saints didn't dare to disobey her, and they all retreated. After the three saints left, Gong Salon couldn't wait to say to Yang Wu, "Child, I didn't expect your bloodline to be so strong. Taihe can be saved." "Old ancestor, how can I save Taihe Sr.?" Yang Wu asked back. He thought of the scene before when he poured his blood into Yang Taihe's body. He had a bad feeling in his heart. "Child, don't blame Grandma for being selfish. Taihe has lost his physical body. Fortunately, he still has his skeleton and soul. He needs to condense his bloodline power again, and he can recover on his own. Before, I poured his father's blood on his body, but his father has already passed away. It will take a long time to help him come back to life, so I want to borrow your bloodline power to help him recover." Gong Silan revealed a trace of pleading expression. My bloodline power isn't very strong. I'm afraid it won't be of much use to Taihe Sr." Yang Wu said timidly. "I was worried about that before, but now I don't have that worry anymore. Your blood is the best sacrifice. Feng Er, take Taihe and give him blood." Gong Silan's condition was not good. She didn't want to explain too much, so she ordered Qing Feng. In the next moment, Qing Feng's aura enveloped Yang Wu. She didn't give him a chance to resist and prepare to take him to donate blood to Yang Taihe. Yang Wu's body felt cold. He knew that he couldn't escape this calamity. He took a deep breath and said, "Grandma, you don't need to use force. I'm willing to donate blood myself." This was the Yang family's territory. No matter what he did, he couldn't resist. He might as well just accept it and suffer less. At the same time, he deeply understood that although this grandma looked kind on the surface, she was actually an unscrupulous person. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been able to suppress an entire family. "Whatever, I hope that after donating blood this time, I can still keep my life." Yang Wu thought in his heart. Good. It's hard for you to be so reasonable. If you have any requests, just say it. Grandma will do her best to satisfy you." Gong Silan said, "I only have one request. Please treat my family well." Yang Wu said his last words. Qing Feng, listen carefully. You must take good care of Yang Wu's family. Don't let them suffer in this life." Gong Silan said to Qing Feng. "Yes, Grandma," Qing Feng said indifferently. Yang Wu couldn't delay any longer. He flew towards the Nine Lotus Divine Throne. The petals of the Nine Lotus Divine Throne parted, revealing Yang Taihe's skeleton. This skeleton had a little more blood on it. It seemed that the blood that was poured on the skeleton had some effect. "Young man, don't waste your blood on me. I don't need to live like this. I can recover on my own," Yang Taihe said firmly. "Taihe, shut up. Child, quickly pour your blood on him," Gong Silan reprimanded. Yang Wu took a deep breath and said, "Actually, I have a way to help you recover your body quickly." Chapter 692. Child, I know you're afraid of dying from blood loss, but Grandma can guarantee that with Grandma here, your life will not be in danger. Gong Silan felt that Yang Wu was stalling for time, which is why she said this. Yang Wu did not reply to Gong Silan's words, but muttered, "There's a secret technique called the pill planting technique. It uses the human body as a pill and supplements it with sacred soil and various high-level herbs to grow a human pill, which is the so-called pill body. Senior Taihe's current situation is most suitable for this technique to recover his body." There really is such a secret technique. Yang Taihe's expression changed. This old one has never heard of such a secret technique. Qing Feng, quickly go and sacrifice this child. Gong Silan did not have the patience to continue wasting time with Yang Wu. Yang Wu quickly said, "Believe me, this pill planting technique is an ancient secret technique. Not only can it help Senior Taihe regenerate his body, it can also give him a new lifespan and recover his youthful vitality. As long as you can find the earth of life, spring of life, and a series of sacred herbs, I will definitely be able to do it." For the sake of his own life, Yang Wu didn't care so much. This kind of alchemy technique was a strange alchemy technique that Xiaohe had passed on to him. It could replant the body of a living being, and it indeed had an extraordinary ability. Gong Silan could no longer listen. Qing Feng came to Yang Wu's side and grabbed him, preparing to let him bleed. Yang Wu quickly said, "Stop. If you continue to make things difficult for this youth, I will kill myself here. My son, you can't. Gong Xilan anxiously said. Mother, listen to me. I am willing to accept this youth's pill planting technique. Otherwise, I would rather die than let him sacrifice himself. Yang Taiha said. Yang Taiha had been in high spirits for thousands of years. Although he wanted to come back from the dead, he did not want the youth who had helped him to be sacrificed. Gong Xilan tightened her walking stick. After a moment of silence, she sighed and said, All right, as you wish. Hearing this, Yang Wu finally calmed down. He thought to himself, this feeling of not being able to control myself is really *king annoying. I must become stronger as soon as possible so that no one can threaten me. Yang Wu managed to escape this calamity, but it did not mean that the matter was over. He had to clearly explain the situation of the pill planting technique to Gong Xilan and Yang Taiha. The pill planting technique borrowed the power of the earth of life and various sacred items to plant a body. This was a lost, secret technique. There was probably no one in the transcendent realm who knew about it. Only Yang Wu knew about it. After Yang Wu told them about the miraculous pill planting technique, Gong Xilan and Yang Taiha already believed him a little. The only thing that gave them a headache was the collection of sacred materials. The list of sacred materials that Yang Wu had listed out was not small. If the Yang family was still at its peak, this amount of sacred materials would not be worth mentioning. However, the current Yang family was declining day by day. It was not easy to gather these sacred materials. Fenger, take my verbal order and let them collect these sacred materials. If they don't have them, let them go to other places to purchase them. You must gather these materials in the shortest time possible. Gong Xilan instructed Qing Feng. Yes, grandmother. Qing Feng replied and quietly retreated. Child, you should stay here and cultivate during this period of time. Gong Xilan said to Yang Wu. Then she sat cross-legged on top of the holy flower and disappeared before his eyes. The 9 lotus divine throne once again enveloped Yang Wu, leaving him alone in this forbidden area. He looked very pitiful. Yang Wu bitterly smiled and found a clean place to sit cross-legged. He wanted to take a good rest before continuing. The experiences of the past 2 or 3 days were a bit too much for him. He needed to adjust his state of mind. Just now, his bloodline had changed. It was as if his bloodline talent had increased by a lot. He felt that it had a lot to do with the spirit of his ancestor. Moreover, his divine cord had the most primitive inheritance of the Yang family. He wanted to take this opportunity to digest it. The Yang family's battle skill, the Dragon Rebel Spear, was a battle skill that the Yang family's ancestor created. It could awaken the power of one's bloodline. Its level and power would increase as one's strength increased. Yang Wu understood the Dragon Rebel Spear very well. He needed a new battle skill, and this battle skill was the Black Tortoise Tyrant Fist. This was a battle skill that originated from the bloodline. It was a battle skill that the Yang family did not pass down. The more powerful one's bloodline was, the more powerful the Tyrant Fist would be. It was also a battle skill that could grow infinitely. In Yang Wu's mind, a black tortoise appeared. It waved its front claws, and the fist force that contained the majestic fist will blasted towards the sky with torrential waves. The power it created was earth-shattering and domineering. Yang Wu constantly observed it, committing the black tortoise tyrant fist to memory bit by bit. He only needed to wait for an opportunity to use it. Afterwards, he used his free time to expand the universal space within him. Every time he increased his cultivation level, he could expand the universal space, which would help him carry more things. After this expansion, the universal space had reached 250 square meters. It was completely comparable to the space of those holy rings. Yang Wu was very satisfied. He then cast his gaze towards the universal ornament he had obtained from the flower thief Jiangping. He murmured, I've been busy fighting in the east and west recently. I haven't had the time to open this universal ornament to see just what kind of good stuff is hidden inside. This was the universal needle. It had been hidden in Jiangping's hair. Yang Wu had almost missed it. Jiangping had become one of the heavenly kings as an independent cultivator. His escape methods were top-notch, and he had all sorts of small holy items. The things inside the universal needle probably wouldn't disappoint. Yang Wu's powerful mental force attacked the universal needle. This time, it was finally effortless. He opened the universal needle's restrictions, and several dozen square meters of space appeared before his eyes. This guy really did hide a lot of good stuff. Yang Wu was moved as he looked at the pile of treasures before him. During this time, he had seen many good things in the transcendent realm. However, when he saw Jiang Ping's universal needle, he was still moved. There was a pile of king medicines, heaven medicines, and even small holy medicines. There were also some weapons and equipment, all of which were at least heaven rank. There were also some battle skills, each of which was relatively precious. What moved Yang Wu the most was the Phoenix Blood Essence, Phoenix Grass, and Phoenix Nirvana Sutra. These things were priceless. He didn't expect them to be hidden in the universal needle. Yang Wu finally understood why Jiang Ping had such a powerful escape method. He had obtained a shocking inheritance, and this universal needle must have been something he had obtained when he obtained the inheritance. The Phoenix Blood Essence could increase the bloodline power of any spirit beast related to the Phoenix demon. For example, Qing Wan. If she obtained a portion of the Phoenix Blood Essence, the power of her bloodline would increase. It was just that he didn't know what grade the Phoenix Blood Essence was at. Every stalk of Phoenix grass had the effect of reviving the dead. Even if it was still young, it was a genuine holy medicine. It was also a necessary ingredient for the pill planting technique. As for the Phoenix Nirvana Sutra, it was amazing. It was a secret of the Phoenix clan. After any Phoenix underwent 9 nirvanas, it could become the strongest Phoenix and possess an immortal body. The Phoenix Nirvana Sutra in front of him was incomplete. It only had the first 4 volumes. It could only be cultivated to the level of a small saint. It was not enough to cultivate to the level of a saint. This was incomparably precious to any living being. It seems that Senior Taihe's life is not yet up for grabs. With this Phoenix Blood Essence and Phoenix Grass, at least staying alive won't be a problem. Yang Wu murmured. Then, he took out a battle skill scroll. This was Phoenix Dance of the 9 Heavens. It was a saint rank movement technique. It was better than the swimming dragon steps. It could greatly increase one's flying speed. He planned to study it. Yang Wu wholeheartedly immersed himself in the cultivation of Phoenix Dance of the 9 Heavens. The image of a phoenix flying appeared in his mind from time to time. Unfortunately, this holy skill was not so easy to cultivate. He could not get started even after a long time. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. Qing Feng returned to report. She had found 90% of the items on the list that Yang Wu had listed. The remaining items were the Earth of Life, the Spring of Life, the Phoenix Grass, and a few other rare holy materials. Fortunately, Gong Xilan had a collection. She had all the holy materials that she did not have. Even the Phoenix Grass was no exception. This dispelled Yang Wu's chance to claim credit. He had to admit that this old granny was a big shot who had lived for too long. Her collection was too rich. Everything is gathered. Can we start? Gong Xilan asked Yang Wu. No hurry. I still need to refine medicine, Yang Wu replied. Are you playing with me? Gong Xilan was somewhat angry. Old granny, even if I had 100 guts, I would not dare to lie to you. Only by refining these holy herbs into medicinal liquid can I pour it into the Earth of Life and help Senior Tai to plant the seed. Yang Wu explained. You mean to say that you still need to find a saint alchemist? No, I can do this myself. You? These are all precious holy herbs. I know, but I am an expert in refining medicine. Yang Wu did not want to continue talking with Gong Xilan, so he summoned out the bronze cauldron. Holy cauldron! After Gong Xilan saw this ancient cauldron, her expression changed. After pausing for a moment, she frowned and said, This is not a holy cauldron. Could it be a heavenly cauldron? Don't disturb me. Yang Wu did not pay attention to Gong Xilan's muttering. He began to use his divine power to refine the low-grade herbs first. He really is an alchemist, Gong Xilan murmured. Qing Feng also revealed a surprised expression towards Yang Wu. It was as if this guy could always surprise people. Yang Wu quickly refined a large pile of low-grade herbs. When he refined the little holy herbs, he was clearly much more careful. Each of them was extremely precious. When he refined the holy herbs, Yang Wu revealed a serious expression. He had no choice but to activate the alchemy Tao in the divine court Tao flower. He used the power of alchemy to increase his affinity with the herbs and refine the essence of the holy herbs bit by bit. He was afraid that the holy herbs would be damaged. Even if the holy herbs were not his, he would still feel the pain. Chapter 693. Even if they had lost their lives, they still had to be handled carefully. It wasn't as simple as using blue enchantress to roast out the medicinal essence. They also had to carefully protect the medicinal essence to prevent it from dispersing. A large amount of medicinal essence required a large amount of mental strength to condense it. Even though Yang Wu had condensed his fighting soul, it was still an extremely strenuous task to protect the medicinal essence of the sacred elixir. Because of this, Yang Wu had to refine the other star soul pill in the universal space to increase his soul power. Only then could he refine the dozen saint herbs. This time, Yang Wu spent 2 whole days refining. He had used up a lot of his soul power and used up all of the star soul pill's medicinal power. Only then did he barely complete the task. Gong Silan and Qing Feng, who had been watching, were extremely shocked. A high-level heavenly fish realm youth was able to refine saint herbs without causing much damage. What did this mean? This meant that even if Yang Wu wasn't a saint alchemist, he had the potential to become one. He was only around 20 years old and had a bright future ahead of him. Thinking that his bloodline power had already returned to its ancestral state, it was even more incredible. Gong Silan regretted forcing Yang Wu before, but if she had to do it again, she would still do it. Yang Wu might be her descendant, but how could he be as close as her own son? When Yang Wu dripped the spring of life into the cauldron, there were bursts of Saint Qi light flashing. This power even appeared in the air. Luckily, it was covered by Qing Feng, so it didn't cause any abnormalities. Phew, it really wasn't easy. Yang Wu covered the cauldron and wiped away his sweat. How is it? Gong Silan asked. Fortunately, I didn't disappoint you. The medicinal liquid has been refined. Next, I have to bury Senior Taihe in the soil of life. Yang Wu replied. Soil of life was a type of high-level soil that contained dense earth energy. Any plant that was planted in it would quickly mature and increase in rank. This was the soil of life. The soil of life was not easy to find. Fortunately, Gong Silan had it in her collection. Otherwise, even if she offered a high reward, she might not be able to buy it in a short period of time. For the following matters, Yang Wu would not be needed for the time being. He could take the opportunity to meditate and recover his spiritual energy. Refining the sacred medicine had consumed too much of his spiritual energy. If he were to do it again, he would not be able to do it again. Qing Feng took care of the rest. She chose a place with good feng shui and dug a hole big enough for one person. She asked the 9 Lotus God to send Yang Taihe into the hole. After Qing Feng was done, Yang Wu's eyes were still closed. She looked at Gong Silan and asked if she wanted to wake up Yang Wu. Gong Silan lightly shook her head, giving Yang Wu some time to rest. In her heart, she regarded Yang Wu as a very important junior. She thought to herself, perhaps this child can make the Yang family undergo earth-shaking changes. Restoring the Yang family to its heyday is just around the corner. After meditating for half a day, Yang Wu's spiritual energy recovered quite a bit. However, if he wanted to fully recover, he would need to rest for another 2 or 3 days. The loss of spiritual energy was different from the injury of the body. The body could heal itself, but the spiritual energy had to be replenished through cultivation. Are you ready? Yang Wu looked at the hole not far away and asked. Yes, I am ready. Qing Feng replied. Then let's start. Yang Wu lightly nodded his head and said. Soon after, he looked towards Gong Silan and said, This time, the planting of the pills will take 49 days. During this period of time, no one can disturb me. Even you can only watch from the sidelines. I need to observe the changes every day and determine the amount of medicinal liquid to be poured every time. It will take that long? Gong Silan frowned. Of course. Otherwise, how can I replant Tai's holy body? Yang Wu gently nodded. Then let's start. Gong Silan had no choice but to agree. She thought to herself, it seems that I won't be able to see my son come back to life. Her grave qi was getting thicker and thicker. There was less than a month left before she died. Yang Wu came to Yang Taiha's side and buried the soil of life beside him. He said, "Taiha, I'm sorry. Come on. I'm already satisfied that I got my life back. It would be best if I could recover faster." Yang Taiha was very open-minded. Yang Wu used the soil of life to bury Yang Taiha's body. He didn't even let go of his skull. He only left a small hole for a few breaths. After finishing this step, he summoned the bronze cauldron and poured the medicinal liquid in the cauldron onto the soil of life. Sizzle. After the medicinal liquid seeped into the soil of life, it let out a strange sound. A thick medicinal fragrance filled the air. Yang Wu looked at the medicinal liquid and couldn't help but swallow his saliva. If he drank a mouthful, it would be extremely nourishing for him. He thought so in his heart, but he didn't dare to try. Otherwise, the medicinal power would make him explode. Yang Wu didn't pour all of the medicinal liquid. He only poured a small portion. First, he let Yang Taiha slowly absorb it. When Yang Taiha absorbed almost all of it, he continued to pour it. Moreover, he didn't know if Yang Taiha could smoothly absorb it. The art of planting pills was extraordinary, but it was Yang Wu's first time doing it. He wasn't confident. Next, Yang Wu sat cross-legged and cultivated. He would wake up from time to time to observe the changes in the soil of life. He could clearly feel that Yang Taiha's vitality was slowly recovering. Although the speed wasn't fast, it at least proved that he was doing the right thing. Gong Xilan and Qing Feng sensed it. Their faces were filled with joy. "Fenger, come here. Help me pass down the order to the clan." Gong Xilan ordered. "Yes, grandmother," Qing Feng replied. Next, Gong Xilan told Qing Feng everything she wanted to pass down. After Qing Feng heard everything, she couldn't help but cry. She knelt in front of Gong Xilan and cried, "Grandmother." Gong Xilan caressed Qing Feng's head and said, "Feng, don't be sad. I should have died long ago. I'm already lucky to be able to live until now. Moreover, my son can be saved. I don't have any worries anymore. It's just a pity that I won't be able to see the day my son recovers." "Grandmother, don't die. You're so powerful. You can definitely change your fate," Qing Feng said sadly. Qing Feng had been by Gong Xilan's side since she was young. She already saw Gong Xilan as her mother. Hearing her last words, she couldn't accept it. "Silly child, everyone has to die, unless you reach the legendary immortality realm. Unfortunately, I don't have that kind of fate. Quickly pass down my order." Gong Xilan sighed. "Yes, grandmother." Qing Feng covered her tears and replied. She turned into a shooting star and flew out of the forbidden area. After Qing Feng left, Gong Xilan's body fainted on the ground. Her breath was extremely weak. It seemed like she was getting closer and closer to death. "Grandmother." The 9 Lotus Divine Throne flew over and caught Gong Xilan within the Divine Throne. It continuously transferred holy qi to Gong Xilan, hoping to help her recover. Unfortunately, it was useless. Gong Xilan's body had aged to the point where she could no longer absorb any energy. 9 Lotus God was at its wit's end. It was only a God Lotus. There wasn't much it could do. It quickly sent a message to Yang Wu. "Please save grandmother." Yang Wu woke up from his meditation and quickly rushed towards the 9 Lotus Divine Throne. Looking at Gong Xilan, who was on the verge of death, he sighed heavily and said, "Birth, old age, sickness, and death. Even your Divine Lotus can't save her. So why should I save her? The mysterious power in your body can save grandmother. I beg you." 9 Lotus God begged. "If I could control that power, I would save her. Unfortunately, I can't." Yang Wu shrugged. Previously, he had developed hatred for Gong Xilan in his heart. The other party actually wanted to sacrifice him alive. Now that he saw that she was about to die, he felt very uncomfortable in his heart. The hatred also disappeared with the wind. "No, I know you have a way. I beg you. In the future, I can help you become a saint. I can give you a lot of help." 9 Lotus God said. Yang Wu thought for a while and said, "Perhaps there is a way to help her live for another 100 days. However, after 100 days, she will still die. 100 days is 100 days. Grandmother wants to see her son recover with her own eyes. That way, she will have no regrets." 9 Lotus God replied, "All right, Let's think of a way to wake her up first. Yang Wu nodded. 9 Lotus God fed Gong Xilan a lotus seed. It helped her recover a bit of her life force. She was barely able to wake up. Little Lotus, why did you waste a lotus seed on me? Gong Xilan looked at 9 Lotus God and said reluctantly, Grandmother, don't speak. He can save you. 9 Lotus God replied. Yang Wu said from the side, Grandmother, focus. I will pass on the Yang returning technique to you. It can help you return to the sun for 100 days. After 100 days, you actually know the lost Yang. Yang returning technique. Gong Xilan revealed a trace of excitement as she spoke. After pausing for a moment, she wiped away an enlightened expression as she muttered to herself. That's right, you've obtained the ancestral bloodline inheritance technique. The Yang clan's most ancient inheritance should have all been obtained by you. The heavens are truly protecting my Yang clan. Grandmother, let's not talk about this for now. I will pass on the Yang returning technique to you. You should be able to understand it quickly. Yang Wu sighed and passed on the Yang returning technique to Gong Xilan. The Yang returning technique was indeed one of the Yang clan's bloodline inheritance secret techniques. It could help a person on the verge of death return to the sun for 100 days. After 100 days, whether it was the physical body or the soul, they would completely dissipate from the world. It squeezed out the potential of the physical body and soul and gathered them together to replenish a breath of Yang Qi. It could support a person for 100 days. Yang Wu didn't think that he would use this secret technique on a Yang clan member as soon as he obtained it. Perhaps this was the so-called cause and effect relationship. Since my bloodline inheritance has been completely awakened, perhaps I will have to give the Yang clan some rewards in the future. The prerequisite is that they can treat our family well. Yang Wu thought to himself. Gong Xilan accepted Yang Wu's Yang returning technique and quickly circulated the secret technique's incantation. Her body's life force slowly increased. Soon, the tomb Qi disappeared. Yang Qi was reborn and life returned to the sun. This was the magic of the Yang returning technique. Chapter 694. In the meeting hall of the Yang clan, all the sage elders of the Yang clan had gathered together. They were discussing 2 important matters. The first was that a descendant had awakened the atavistic bloodline and caused the will of the ancestor to appear, raising the bloodline grade of everyone below the saint level of the black tortoise bloodline. They had to come up with a plan to deal with this matter. The second matter was that the great-grandmother was ready to die at any time. Without this great figure holding the fort, the Yang clan would be in imminent danger. Yang Qingxing sat on the seat of the clan leader and looked at the sage elders around him with a serious expression. These 2 matters were extremely troublesome. If they were not handled carefully, it could easily cause internal strife in the clan. Most of the sage elders were from the Azure clan. Only Yang Liuyu, Yang Liuxi, and Yang Mingrong were from the Black Tortoise bloodline. There are also 2 other Black Tortoise bloodline sage elders who had not returned for many years. Clan leader, these 2 matters must be decided as soon as possible. We cannot delay any longer. Yang Liuyu looked at Yang Qingxing and said. Before Yang Qingxing could speak, sage elder Yang Muzhen from the Azure clan said, I agree that you should focus on cultivating the atavistic youth. However, he is a descendant of the sinner's bloodline after all. Our clan cannot give him too much support. Everything will depend on the support of the 3 of you. I believe that with the 3 of you sage elders' abilities, it will be more than enough to cultivate a youth. Another sage elder from the Azure clan said, That's right. That youth did not grow up in the Yang clan and has no sense of belonging. I heard that his character is not good either. I am afraid that we will cultivate an ungrateful person. Yang Liuxi said in a deep voice, Don't talk nonsense. Even if that youth is of the sinner's bloodline, now that the great-grandmother has brought him back to the clan, their bloodline's past is over. Don't keep harping on this point. You're worried about his character. I think there is no need to worry about this at all. I have seen that youth before. He has a righteous face and is definitely not an evil person. Sage Elder Liuxi, you are wrong. A bad person would not write the word bad on their face. The sage elder from the Azure clan retorted. Yang Mingrong was furious. He slammed the table and said, "Fine. If you don't support him, the three of us will do our best to cultivate him. Don't interfere. We're all family." Mingrong, you don't have to be so emotional. Patriarch Yang Qingxing tried to smooth things over. He continued, "Let's leave him to the three elders. If he needs help from the clan, we'll help him if we can. Also, we really do need to pay more attention to his character. I suggest that we let him live in the clan for a period of time and let him cultivate and live with the other youths in the clan. Then we can judge whether his character is good or not." I agree with the Patriarch's suggestion. I agree too. The elders of the Azure faction agreed with Yang Wu's decision. The three sages of the Black Tortoise faction had nothing to say. They didn't want to be entangled in this matter. As long as the other party allowed Yang Wu to establish himself in the clan, with their ability, wouldn't it be easy to groom a youth? Great-grandmother has already asked Qing Feng to send her last words. What does everyone think? One of the elders asked. The elders present all maintained their silence. No matter how much internal strife they had, they were all aware of great-grandmother's position in the clan. With her around, the Yang clan was like a stabilizing force. If she wasn't around and the Xing clan came to invade, they would probably be exterminated. Can we ask for help from the Li clan? One of the elders asked. Right now, we're not thinking about asking for help, but how to deal with great-grandmother's matter, Yang Liuyu said unhappily. After a pause, he said, I don't think this matter should be made public. I believe great-grandmother doesn't want to make a big fuss about it either. Besides, we've already welcomed little ancestor Taiha back. If we can help him recover to his peak, our Yang clan might still have a chance. If little ancestor Taiha wants to recover, I'm afraid he won't be able to do it without 100 years of effort. Besides, it's still unknown whether he'll be able to fully recover. Yang Muzhin said, even with little ancestor Taiha's abilities, he can't recover in a short period of time? Someone asked doubtfully. After being burned by the Xing fire for thousands of years, it's already a miracle that he's still alive. If he wants to recover in a short period of time, unless he has the art of rebirth, he can only slowly recover. That kind of injury has seeped into his bones. Yang Qingxing said, no matter what, we have to give great-grandmother a proper burial and do our best to help Taiha recover in a short period of time. Yang Mingrong said. Yang Liushi said, the Xinyuan clan has the fruit of rebirth. Can we, before he could finish, Yang Muzhin interrupted him, if it weren't for what happened 800 years ago, perhaps the Xinyuan clan could make a deal with us. But with the current situation, it's impossible. That's right. The fruit of rebirth is a divine item. Even though the Xinyuan clan is no longer pursuing the matter, it's not realistic to ask them to make a deal with us. Another elder agreed. No matter how much the Yang clan argued in the hall, it didn't affect Yang Jingtao's return to the clan for the time being. Yang Jingtao's wish of many years was finally fulfilled. Under Yang Jinghai's leadership, the Yang clan held a simple ceremony for Yang Jingtao, allowing him to return to the Yang clan. Yang Jingtao's ancestors were re-recorded in the clan records. Originally, the clan elders had discussed not allowing Yang Jingtao's ancestors to be recorded in the clan records. After all, they were of the blood of sin. If the descendants could be cleared of their crimes, they could only allow the descendants to return, not the ancestors. But with the appearance of great-grandmother and Yang Wu's great contributions, their ancestors were allowed to be recorded in the clan records. Yang Jingtao was able to welcome his ancestors back to the clan. He hugged the clan records and cried for an entire night. He really wanted to share this moment of joy with his grandson. Unfortunately, his grandson seemed to have important matters to attend to and couldn't see him for the time being. He could only cry in joy alone. Yang Jingtao had destroyed his own bloodline when he was in the outer court of the Yang clan. Even though his cultivation level wasn't affected, the power of his bloodline was difficult to recover. He didn't feel disappointed because of this. On the contrary, he had paid so much. If he could protect the bright moon and the clouds, it was all worth it. Moreover, he had a grandson that he was proud of. He was satisfied with this life. Who knew that a few days ago, his destroyed bloodline power suddenly recovered and improved rapidly? All of this was unexpected. He faintly felt that all of this had something to do with his grandson. After his bloodline power recovered and improved, he was full of hope that his future days would be better. Yang Jingtao didn't get carried away because of this. He planned to make some friends in the Yang clan, hoping to integrate into the clan. However, the Yang clan members living here all looked at him with a superior gaze. They didn't put him in their eyes at all, which was a big blow to him. Fortunately, Yang Hongchong and Yang Jie continued to come to congratulate him, which made his residence a little livelier. This time, it wasn't just the two of them who came. Shu Yujun, Lei Zhongjuan, Yang Ba, Bai Luoyun, and the 5 heroes of the roaming sword also came. The reason why they could enter the Yang clan was that Shu Yujun and Wang Yuyang paid a visit in the name of the Hung Mountain sect. The Hung Mountain sect was a first-class force of the 5 Mountain sect. It was stronger than the current Yang clan. After the Yang clan learned that Shu Yujun was the daughter of the Hung Mountain sect's leader, they became extremely enthusiastic. If they could gain the friendship of the Hung Mountain sect, the Yang clan would naturally be happy. The Yang clan was in troubled times. Shu Yujun came to visit Yang Jingtao after paying a visit to the patriarch of the Yang clan. On this day, Shu Yujun was dressed in a dignified and elegant manner. With a bright and beautiful face and an exquisite figure, she exuded a valiant and capable charm. Wherever she went, the breathing of the Yang family's youth became rapid. Shu Yujun was the eldest daughter of the Hung Mountain sect. Her temperament was so outstanding that even the arrogant Yang clan members were attracted to her. With Shu Yujun's beauty, she was considered one of the top young women in the transcendent world. After coming out of the City of Redemption, she successfully broke through to the top-level Heavenly Fish realm. Her temperament was even more extraordinary. "You're all here. Come in quickly." Yang Jingtao saw these familiar faces and warmly welcomed them into the house. Yang Jingtao was now living in the periphery of the Yang clan. It was basically a place where the collateral relatives lived. Fortunately, he was arranged a small courtyard. When Yang Wu returned, there would be a place to stay. "Grandpa, why did the Yang clan arrange such a remote place for you?" Shu Yujun had lived a luxurious life since she was young. Seeing how the Yang clan treated Yang Jingtao, she was dissatisfied. Yang Hongchong and Yang Jie both showed a hint of embarrassment. They did not know how to answer. Both of their realms had improved. Yang Hongchong had reached the top-level Heavenly Fish realm, while Yang Jie had reached the Heavenly Fish realm. Their bloodline power had increased by 10%. It's good to have a place to stay in the inner courtyard. The Shenxi of heaven and earth here is very rich. I'm very satisfied. Yang Jingtao said contentedly. "My lord, there are no servants here. Why don't I stay and help?" Bai Luoyan said. The 5 heroes of Roaming Sword also said in unison, "We're willing to stay." They had chosen to follow Yang Wu. Naturally, they prioritized Yang Wu's matters. "I appreciate your kindness. We'll talk about it when Wu comes back." Yang Jingtao said with relief. "Yang Hongchong, when will Yang Wu come back?" Shu Yujun turned around and asked Yang Hongchong. Yang Hongchong shook his head and said, "I don't know about this. I asked the elders and heard that he has come back. It's just that it's not convenient for him to show up. You'd better pray that nothing happens to Yang Wu. Otherwise, I'll definitely persuade my father to be rude to the Yang clan." Shu Yujun said strongly. Now, her heart was tied to Yang Wu. She treated him as her man and did not want anything to happen to him. Yang Jie said, "We don't want anything to happen to him either. I think he'll be fine too. I believe we'll meet again soon. You don't have to worry. My lord is fine." Yang Ba said seriously as he covered his heart. He sighed in his heart. "My body was reborn because of my lord's blood. If he dies, I'm afraid I won't be able to live either." Chapter 695. Battle Race, Xing Family. The Xing family was located in the southeast region of the Battle Race realm. Their realm was many times larger than the Yang families. Of the 8 great battle clans, there were only 4, the Xian Yuan, Ho, Yang, and Li families. Later on, the Xing, Qin, Sun, and Lu families appeared. In the beginning, the Xing family was at the bottom of the 8 great battle clans. However, Their ancestor found a fiery realm that was very suitable for the Xing family to develop. Thus, they settled down in that fiery realm and began to spread their bloodline. That realm was called the Xinghua realm. Legend has it that Xinghua was a demonic flame that fell from the outer realms. It had the ability to burn and devour. Its destructive power was too terrifying. Only the Xing family could use their bloodline power to absorb and refine it. The Xing family's Xinghua was continuously refined from the Xinghua realm. The 8 great battle clans had gone through countless years of development. There were prosperous clans and declining clans. However, the Xing family had been able to steadily rise because they owned the Xinghua realm. Today, the Xing family was ranked 3rd. If it wasn't for the fact that they weren't as strong as the Xian Yuan and Hou families, they wouldn't have been in this position. Over the years, the Xing family had experienced a few qualitative leaps. 5,000 years ago, they had joined forces with Mount Amei to suppress the Yang family's most outstanding saint-level prodigy, Yang Taihe. From there, they took the opportunity to invade the Yang family, catching them off guard. From there, they took over a lot of the Yang family's territory and obtained a lot of cultivation resources. They also obtained a lot of good things from the Dragon Tomb, helping the younger generation of the Xing family to grow quickly. It could be said that the Xing family had stepped on the Yang family to rise up. It turned out that the Yang family was much stronger than the Xing family. However, since ancient times, the Yang family had been the family that worked the hardest to kill demons. Countless of their experts had died at the hands of demons, causing them to be greatly weakened. This was why the Xing family took advantage of the situation. In the transcendent realm, the Yang family's status and reputation was unquestionable 5,000 years ago. However, 5,000 years later, the Yang family had been reduced to a second-rate power. It was truly lamentable. Within the Xing family, the upper echelons of the Xing family were having a meeting. The Xing family's patriarch announced a second expedition against the Yang family and asked the Xing elders for their opinion. The Yang clan can't even withstand a single blow. Now is the time to wipe them out. A holy elder from the Xing clan said, "Didn't the Nether Sun Saint Elder just fight with the Yang family's great-grandmother? She has the Yang clan's dragon rebel spear. If we charge in recklessly, I'm afraid it won't end well for us." Another sacred elder said. Xing Mingyang sat on the first seat on the left and said in a low voice, "That old woman is indeed powerful. Fairy Wuching, Tian Peng Daoist, and I were all injured by her. A Heaven's Reach realm cultivator is indeed not to be trifled with." The Xing clan leader sat on the main seat and smiled. "I just received news that the old woman won't live for more than a month." The eyes of the sage elders of the Xing clan lit up. If the Yang clan lost this Tongtian level figure, then the other Yang clan sages would not be a threat. There's one more thing to consider. Yang Taihe was rescued by them. With that guy's battle prowess, another sacred elder objected. Xing Mingyang waved his hand and smiled. Yang Taihe is not a threat. Even though he was rescued, he won't be able to recover in 100 years. Even if he recovers, he won't be able to return to his peak. It's a miracle that he survived 5,000 years of Xing fire. If he can recover, then wouldn't it mean that our Xing fire is useless? That's true, a sacred elder replied. Sacred Elder Mingyang, you should have given him a quick death. Why did you leave him behind? Someone complained. In the past, Yang Taihe had suppressed the geniuses of the Battle Clan realm for an entire generation. It was only after he was trapped that he finally came to an end. The Xing clan's sacred elder who spoke was one of Yang Taihe's defeated opponents. So what if he can withstand 5,000 years of torture? In a month, we'll completely uproot the Yang clan. Xing Mingyang snorted coldly. In less than a month, the Yang clan spread the news of the Yang clan's great-grandmother's death. Even though the Yang clan requested for this news to be kept a secret, it was unknown who spread the news. The higher-ups of the 8 great battle clans knew about it. Only the Yang clan's sacred elder knew about the death of the Yang clan's great-grandmother. This meant that there was a traitor in the Yang clan's sacred elder. The Yang clan began to investigate the traitor. They must find this traitor. After a series of deductions, Everyone's gaze locked onto a sacred elder with a different surname. He was Yuchong, and Yuchong was a legendary figure. He had the bloodline power of the Yang clan's Black Tortoise bloodline. Furthermore, he had awakened 70% of his bloodline power. He gradually grew from a nobody to an outstanding genius. His father was a nobody. His mother was a girl from a side branch of the Yang clan. It was inconceivable that he could awaken such a dense bloodline power. Ever since Yuchong was recruited back to the Yang clan, the cultivation resources that the Yang clan gave him were limited. He had to rely on his own efforts to grow. It was only until he broke through the Star Rune realm that he was invited back by the Yang clan to be a sacred elder. When Yuchong returned, he made a request. He wanted to keep his original surname and was not willing to change it. After a discussion, the sacred elders of the Yang clan allowed Yuchong to do so. All these years, Yuchong had been very low profile in the Yang clan. The things that the Yang clan arranged for him, he would complete them properly. The things that were not arranged for him, he would never do them. He would quietly cultivate or accompany his family at home. He was known for being a filial son. To put it bluntly, he did not fit in with the crowd. Yuchong was a very scholarly-looking youth. He looked to be around 30 years old. Even though his actual age was over 300 years old, the years did not leave any traces on his face. He was wearing a navy blue robe. His face was filled with a gentle smile. He gave off an amiable feeling. Facing the questioning of the sacred elders of the Yang clan, Yuchong did not take it to heart. He calmly replied, "The news of great-grandmother's death. Did any of you tell me?" The sacred elders of the Yang clan were stunned. Even though Yuchong had the right to participate in the sacred elders' discussions, he had never taken the initiative to participate. Unless the clan leader invited him, he would only go. He did not participate in the recent sacred elders' discussions. He did not even know about great-grandmother's death. The sacred elders of the Yang clan made a big mistake. Looking at Yuchong's calm expression, they felt extremely guilty. Even though they did not like Yuchong had never done anything to let down the Yang clan. Now that the important news of the Yang clan was exposed, they pushed the blame to him. This was too unreasonable. I think everyone should prepare for battle. I feel that a storm is coming. Yuchong calmly said. He turned around and went back into the house. In his hand, he held a normal-looking sword and walked out. Just as his voice fell, a black fire dragon suddenly came crashing down from the sky above the Yang clan. Rumble, rumble. This black fire dragon was extremely ferocious. The power it contained was earth-shattering. It was definitely a power that could only be created by a top-grade sacred object. The Yang clan's land shook violently. Many old and weak women could not withstand the impact of this power and died on the spot. The others also suffered from different degrees of impact. They all cried out in pain. Who dares to destroy our Yang clan's land? The sacred elder of the Yang clan roared. In the next moment, many sacred elders of the Yang clan rushed into the sky. They used their powerful power to stop the fire dragon from destroying the Yang clan's land. The power of the land could create space. The Yang clan's land was a space created by itself. Now that someone had attacked their door, it was obvious that the other party wanted to start a war with the Yang clan. Today, the Yang clan will be destroyed. A merciless power faintly announced. Outside the Yang clan's land, 20 sacred elders of the Xing clan gathered. They were all level 5 celestial rune realm sacred elders of the Xing clan. None of them were below level 5 celestial rune realm. For the Xing clan to send out such a force, it was obvious that they wanted to completely destroy the Yang clan. It's the Xing clan. How dare they do this? Cut the crap. Let's kill our way out. We must not let them destroy the land. Otherwise, our clansmen will be killed. Are the rules of the war clan broken? They actually dared to start a civil war. The Xing clan is too much. Do they really think that our Yang clan is easy to bully? Today, even if we have to risk our lives, we will make them pay the price. The sacred elders of the Yang clan were shocked and furious. They did not even know that the Xing clan had suddenly attacked. It must be the work of a traitor. Now, they no longer had the time to catch the traitor. They had to kill the strong enemy first. The Yang clan's defense was activated. They strengthened the land layer by layer to prevent the Xing clan from killing their way in. Many Yang clan's saints rushed out of the clan. They only had 15 saint elders, which was even fewer than the Xing clan. Fortunately, they still had 3 saint-level guardian sacred demons. However, these 3 sacred demons were the Yang clan's last line of defense. They would not be deployed easily. The number of sacred elders did not mean everything. The strength of the sacred elders was the most important. The Xing clan's sacred elders had all reached level 5 celestial rune realm. Among the 15 sacred elders of the Yang clan, only 5 of them had reached level 5 celestial rune realm. They were the Yang clan's patriarch Yang Qingxing, Yang Muzhen, Yang Mulu, Yang Liuyu, and Yu Chang'an. The rest were all below level 5 celestial rune realm. How were they going to fight this battle? The sacred elders of the Yang clan asked themselves. Only then did they realize that the gap between them and the Xing clan had widened over the years. Xing Laoyang, is your Xing clan really going to fight to the death with our Yang clan? Yang Qing glared at the leader of the Xing clan and shouted. Xing Laoyang was Xing Mingyang's cousin. He was slightly stronger than Xing Mingyang. He was the leader of the Xing clan this time. Xing Laoyang was a muscular middle-aged man. He wore a black cape and held the fire dragon barrier in his hand. This was a top-tier sacred weapon. He was the one who had activated the attack to break the Yang clan's land barrier. Our 2 clans have long been at odds with each other. If it were not for the rules of the War Clan realm, we would have destroyed your Yang clan long ago. Xing Laoyang sneered. He paused for a moment before continuing. This time, we will destroy your Yang clan with lightning speed. Even if the other clans want to stop us, it will be too late. Attack together and slaughter them all. Chapter 696. The war between the Yang family and the Xing family was about to break out. This was something that no one had expected. All these years, the Xing family had been bullying the Yang family. This was something that everyone in the War Clan knew. However, as long as there were people, there would be conflicts. Even within the same family, there would be conflicts between the ancient families. They could work together against the demons, but they would still compete with each other in peaceful days. In the past few thousand years, the Xing family had grown tremendously while the Yang family had declined. The Xing family had always wanted to kick the Yang family out of the War Clan and strip them of their status as a War Clan. However, the War Clan had its own rules. The Yang family's bloodline power had not been completely destroyed, so they naturally would not be kicked out of the War Clan. They would only be kicked out of the War Clan after the war bloodline of the Yang family was abolished. Even if the Yang family had contributed greatly to the human race since ancient times, they could not blame anyone for not being able to maintain their position. War clans usually did not allow large-scale civil wars. This was a rule that had been set long ago. However, in the eyes of many large factions, rules were meant to be broken. The Xing family planned to break this rule today. After Xing Laoyang gave the order, the saints of the Xing family went all out and prepared to kill all the saints of the Yang family. At this moment, someone struck out first. The person struck out with startling speed. By the time Xing Laoyang reacted, a sword had already pierced his chest. If it were not for his saint armor, the sword probably would have pierced through his body. Even so, Xing Laoyang was still sent flying while coughing up blood. Go back to where you came from, Xing family. A calm voice rang out in the sky. The voice did not have any authority, but it had an unquestionable aura. Yu Chang'an. The saints of the Yang clan were shocked to see the person who had forced Xing Laoyang to retreat with a single move. The traitor they had suspected earlier actually possessed such great combat prowess. They could not understand how he had grown to this level no matter how hard they racked their brains. They were extremely frustrated. They had actually suspected Yu Chang and to be a traitor without any evidence. They really deserved to die. Who are you? I don't remember the Yang family having someone like you. Xing Laoyang glared at Yu Chang and asked, You don't need to care who I am. The Yang family is not a place where you can behave atrociously, get lost. Yu Chang'an said calmly, Good. I was just careless just now, that's why I lost. Let me tell you now, the Yang family is doomed. You alone cannot change the fact. Xing Laoyang shouted, waving the fire dragon barrier in his hand towards Yu Chang. And the fire dragon barrier was a rather unique combat weapon. It was like a spring that could shrink and contract at will. The head of the weapon was a net forged from top-grade saint materials. There were 81 sharp blades hanging in the net. Once one was caught in the net, they would definitely kill any living being. This kind of weapon was not easy to use, but Xing Laoyang had cultivated it for many years, and it had become his natal weapon, so he could use it with ease. The fire shield was like a dragon as it rushed towards Yu Chang'an. It was as if the sky was being torn apart by the black flame. The burning and devouring power of the black flame was extremely terrifying. The other saints of the Xing family did not make a move. From their perspective, it would be best to wait for Xing Laoyang to defeat Yu Chang'an and destroy the Yang family spirit before taking down the Yang family in one go. The people of the Yang family did not make a move either. It was not that they did not want to, but if they dared to make a move, the people of the Xing family would make a move as well. It was better to see if Yu Chang'an could withstand Xing Laoyang's attack. Yu Chang'an held a normal longsword. He did not seem to have any explosive power, but the sword in his hand was gently swung out. Suddenly, a sword intent appeared in the sky. That terrifying sword intent contained an indestructible power and clashed with the fire dragon. Rip! The power of the fire dragon was actually cut in half by the sword intent, and thick black flames scattered in all directions. The saints were not idiots. They felt a unique aura from Yu Chang'an. That was the power of martial arts. Sword Dao. You have cultivated a type of Sword Dao. Xing Laoyang felt Yu Chang'an's power and screamed. When anyone reached the saint level, they would pay more attention to finding their own martial arts. Every type of martial arts was extraordinary. Not every saint could comprehend it. Only 1 or 2 out of 100 saints were lucky enough to cultivate their own martial arts. Yu Chang'an had cultivated his own Sword Dao, which shocked all the saints. It's good that you know. You can all back off. Do not touch the Yang family anymore, Yu Chang'an said calmly. Although he had cultivated a Sword Dao, it did not mean he had the power to stop so many people of the Xing family. However, it should not be difficult for him to kill 1 or 2 saints of the Xing family. Elder Chang'an is right. You should all go back. The Yang family is not to be trifled with. The saint of the Yang family stepped forward and yelled at the people of the Xing family. This was the saint of the Yang family's azure bloodline. His name was Yang Molu. His power was at the 5th level of the celestial rune realm. At the same time, he was Yang Qingxing's uncle. Ha! Do you really think you're invincible after cultivating a Sword Dao? Our Xing family also has people who have cultivated martial arts. Besides, our power is more than enough to crush your Yang family. Why would we leave without any results? If you know what's good for you, you should choose to be our subordinate force. Perhaps we can let you go, Xing Laoyang laughed. Why waste time talking to them? Let's fight, Xing Mingyang said faintly. Then, he looked at Yu Chang'an and said, leave him to me. Mingyang, he's my prey. Take the others and destroy them. I have the fire dragon barrier. Even if he has a Sword Dao, it's nothing. Xing Laoyang responded. His aura rose as the black flame formed a Xinghua god behind him. The Xinghua god was a totem condensed from the Xinghua Qi of the Xing clan. It looked ferocious like a fiery ghost. It had 6 arms, each holding a different fire weapon, and could command all kinds of fire. Yu Chang'an knew it would be difficult to resolve. He sighed and said, then let's fight. He released all of his power. 10 star patterns covered him. He had reached the pinnacle saint level. No wonder he was so confident. Xing Laoyang had only reached the 9th level of the star pattern realm. He was still at the pinnacle of the high-level saint level. He hadn't taken that step yet, so he couldn't become a pinnacle saint. The 9th level of the star pattern realm was only 1 star pattern away from the 10th level. However, the difference between the two wasn't as simple as a small level. It was an entire realm. If one didn't have a secret technique to increase their power, it was impossible to fight someone of a higher level. As the leader of the Xing family, Xing Laoyang's power was naturally extraordinary. He could easily fight against a 12th level saint. He used all of his strength to activate the fire dragon barrier. He merged with the fire dragon barrier and formed a black fire dragon. It attacked Yu Chang'an crazily. The heaven and earth were in chaos. Yu Chang'an looked serious. A sword net formed around him. It was his black tortoise sword Dao that combined both attack and defense. The sword intent that filled the sky swept the heaven and earth. The sharp sword intent could destroy anything. At the same time, the sword intent formed layers of defense around Yu Chang'an. Anyone who came close would be shredded into dust by the sword intent. Xing Laoyang and Yu Chang and unleashed their most powerful attacks. The world around them shook, and St. Chi splashed in all directions. The power was terrifying. The fire dragon was fierce. It charged again and again. The sky within 100 miles was affected. Fire dragon bodies could be seen everywhere. It was a shocking scene. The black tortoise sword Dao was even more extraordinary. It was a pinnacle sword Dao. Each sword light contained 30 times more power than Yu Chang'an. The fire dragon was knocked away again and again. It couldn't get close to Yu Chang'an. The saints around were shocked. They just realized how terrifying Yu Chang'an's power was. You guys hold the line for me. I'll fight him with my cousin. Xing Mingyang couldn't help it. He waved his nether sun wheel and attacked. Fire wheel devouring Dao. Once upon a time, Xing Mingyang was a peerless genius who could be compared to Yang Taihe. He had already comprehended his own path. His Dharma wheel contained the power of destruction and devouring. It belonged to the martial arts path of the two paths. A huge fire wheel spun. The black Xing fire formed a sea of fire. A fire vortex formed in the sea of fire. It produced a strong devouring power and absorbed most of the sword intent. Xing Laoyang had Xing Mingyang to share the burden. The two of them were equally powerful. They were a great threat when they worked together. They finally suppressed Yu Chang and Sword Dao. The Xing family wanted to attack the Yang family. They hesitated for a while and didn't move. They believed that Xing Laoyang and Xing Mingyang could suppress Yu Chang'an. It wouldn't be too late to take down the Yang family after they took down Yu Chang, and numbers don't mean you can bully those with fewer people. Yu Chang'an's face was filled with anger. The spirit of black tortoise behind him looked majestic. Countless sword chi slashed out. He forced the two high-level saints of the Xing family to retreat by himself. Wherever the sword intent went, Xing Laoyang and Xing Mingyang couldn't defend themselves. Their saint robes were cut into pieces. The sword intent seeped into their bodies. Blood splattered everywhere. Yu Chang was indeed powerful. The Yang family felt their blood boil. They felt that with him here, the Yang family would be able to defend themselves. Elder Chang'an, let me give you a hand. Suddenly, Yang Mulu exclaimed and rushed toward the battlefield. No one expected Yang Mulu to have such courage. But as soon as he rushed over, he was in danger. He was forced to crash into Yu Chang and by Xing Laoyang's power. Yu Chang caught him. Who would have thought that something would happen at this time? Bang! Chapter 697. Yang Mulu suddenly attacked Yu Chang'an. This was something that no one expected. Yang Mulu was a true member of the Yang family. Now that the Yang family was on the brink of death, he actually betrayed them. The real traitor had appeared. Yu Chang and also didn't expect Yang Mulu to attack him. His martial arts that combined both attack and defense could not be broken by Yang Mulu's strength. However, when he received Yang Mulu's attack just now, his defense was weakened. Moreover, the two of them were very close to each other. Even if he had the ability to reach the heavens, he couldn't react in time. Puffed. Yu Chang'an was hit. He spat out a mouthful of blood. The moment he was attacked, his swordsmanship turned, and tens of thousands of sword chi shot towards Yang Mulu. However, Xing Laoyang and Xing Mingyang seemed to have expected this. When Yu Chang and counterattacked, the two of them gave it their all. Fire Dragon Flip. Black Sun Engulf. The two saints' innate powers exploded at the same time. A black fire dragon stirred the heaven and earth. A bright sun engulfed everything. The terrifying power even forced the saints around to back off. Yu Chang and Sword Chi had just injured Yang Mulu, but it was drowned by the two innate powers. He was forced to withdraw his attack to protect himself. After the fierce attack ended, Yu Chang was forced to retreat a few thousand feet. His whole body was in a sorry state. The corner of his mouth was still bleeding. His defensive power was shattered. The current Yang family. Sigh. Yu Chang, and covered the wound on his chest. He revealed a deep disappointment. Muli, you're actually a traitor. Yang Muzhin shouted at Yang Mulu. Yang Mulu was his blood brother. He actually betrayed the Yang family. This was a fact that he couldn't accept. Yang Mulu, do you know the consequences of betraying the family? Yang Qingxing glared at Yang Mulu. Even though the Yang family was in chaos, there had never been a traitor. They really didn't expect that a saint would betray the family. They always thought that the traitor was just a normal saint. However, Yang Mulu was a level 5-star mark saint. He had an extraordinary position in the Yang family. The current Yang family is no longer worthy of my service. I want to become the patriarch of the Yang family and serve the Xing family. Yang Mulu revealed a fanatical expression. Mulu, not bad. Xing Laoyang smiled. If all of you surrender together, you may still have a chance to live. If you continue to resist, only death awaits you. Xing Mingyang said calmly. Yu Chang was injured by them, and Xing, who was devouring power, had entered his body. The fire power was devouring his life force. If he didn't force Xing Hua out of his body in time, his injuries would only worsen. That was why Xing Laoyang and Xing Mingyang were so calm. My dear brother, why did you do this? Yang Muzhin stared at Yang Mulu and questioned. Since all of you are about to die, I'll let you understand. Not only did you want to replace the Black Tortoise bloodline, but you also wanted to kill all the geniuses of the Black Tortoise bloodline one by one, so that you could continue to be the patriarch with peace of mind. In the future, you would even pass the position to your son, so that your bloodline could occupy the patriarch position for a long time. I don't care about any of this. What I care about most is that you kill my son. He was only slightly weaker than you, and was also one of the candidates for the patriarch position. You used unscrupulous means to get yourself the patriarch position and even put the Yang family into internal strife for a long time. Yang Mulu, don't talk nonsense. Yang Qingxing rebuked angrily. Then he shouted, You traitor! After this battle, all of your descendants will die because of you. I've already done so. Why would I wait for you to kill them? After today, the Yang clan will be mine. Everything will be under my control. Yang Mulu sneered. Then he bowed to Xing Laoyang and said, Lord Laoyang, please kill all of them to prevent any more trouble. It's time to kill them all. Xing Laoyang smiled faintly and quickly made his move. His target was not the other members of the Yang clan, but Yang Mulu. Yang Mulu was covered by the fire dragon dome. His body was instantly turned into a pool of blood. He didn't even have the chance to resist before he was killed. Until his death, Yang Mulu couldn't understand why the Xing clan would kill him. Didn't they say that he would be the patriarch of the Yang clan and control the Yang clan? The members of the Yang clan watched as Yang Mulu was killed. They were deeply shocked. The Xing clan was really here to kill. From now on, the Yang clan will be removed from the War Clan world. Why would they still keep such a huge threat? How foolish, Xing Laoyang said with disdain. Then, he gave Xing Mingyang a look. Once again, they worked together to attack Yu Chang. This time, the other members of the Xing clan didn't stay idle. They all attacked the Yang clan saints. Yu Chang, and had no choice but to stand at the front. He was injured, and his sword Dao power was weakened. However, it wasn't a problem for him to block Xing Laoyang and Xing Mingyang. The biggest problem was that the other saints were no match for the other saints of the Xing clan. In the end, it was inevitable that they would all be killed. Do you really think you have us? Ancestral item. Yang Qingxing looked at the members of the Xing clan and shouted. A green longsword soared into the sky. Its shocking aura shocked everyone. The ancestral item of the Azure clan, the Azure Godly Sword. This was a Jade Moon Realm combat weapon. It was also known as the Godly Sword of Heaven. It was beyond the category of saint weapons. Moreover, this godly sword contained the will of the Yang clan's ancestor. Yang Qingxing could explode with even more power with it. Swoosh! Swoosh! In an instant, Yang Qingxing slashed out several tens of thousands of sword lights. The sword lights broke through the space. The sharp sword intent could threaten any high-level saint. The Xing clan saints were forced back by Yang Qingxing's move. This was a godly sword. They couldn't block it. They would be killed instantly. Spread out and take him down one by one. This godly sword is mine. One of the Xing clan's saints shouted. He turned into a ghostly figure and charged at Yang Qingxing. One had to admit that this saint was bold. He wasn't afraid of Yang Qingxing, who was holding a godly sword. In the next moment, he knew he was wrong. Yang Qingxing was able to become the Yang clan's patriarch because he had already cultivated to the 6th star mark realm. Together with a godly sword, he could even fight against an opponent with an 8th or 9th star mark realm. Before the Xing clan's saints could even get close, they were already injured by the might of his godly sword. This godly sword is too powerful. 2 more join me. The injured Xing clan's saint cried out. Therefore, 2 more Xing clan saints charged at Yang Qingxing. The other saints went to find their own opponents. Yu Chang and was fighting 2 saints by himself. Yang Qingxing was fighting 3 saints by himself. The pressure on the other Yang clan's saints was greatly reduced. They realized that if they didn't go all out today, they wouldn't be able to see tomorrow's sunrise. Therefore, they all unleashed their battle chi and engaged in a fierce battle with the Xing clan saints. With the start of the Holy War, how vast was its influence? Within the territory of the Yang family, most of the people felt the fluctuations of the battle in the 9th heaven, and everyone was frightened. The people in the Yang clan's territory were all flustered. They realized that the moment of life and death for their clan had arrived. The Xing clan saints are here. They've started a holy war. Do they really want to exterminate our Yang clan? See if there's any other saint elder in seclusion. Quickly call him out for help. I didn't expect our Yang clan to be exterminated again. If only I had the power of a saint, I would be able to serve the clan. Damn the Xing clan. If the clan can survive today, I will cultivate with all my might so that I can protect the clan better in the future. The 2 guardian saint demons of a Yang clan rushed out. Among the 2 guardian saint demons, Qing Feng was the strongest. She was an advanced demon saint and was one of the guardian elders cultivated by Gong Salon. The other guardian saint demon was a green-eyed wolf. It was a spirit demon that cultivated with Xianxi and had reached the intermediate demon saint realm. Qing Feng rushed into the saint realm battlefield with light steps to share the pressure of the Yang clan saints. Her advanced demon saint aura was rather terrifying. Her palms flashed like butterflies. Streaks of green wind transformed into blades and enveloped a Xing clan saint. The green-eyed wolf fought in his true form. His eyes glowed with 2 terrifying beams of light. It was as if the entire world was bound by these 2 beams of light. No one could break free. The Xing clan saints were all level 5 astral runes. They also had earth chi that boosted their battle strength. The Yang clan saints were no match for them. If the 2 guardian saint demons didn't help, they would all be wiped out in a short time. Just when everyone thought that they could stop the Xing clan's attack, a terrifying fire hammer suddenly smashed down at Yu Chang and was already having a hard time fending off Xing Laoyang and Xing Mingyang. But the fire hammer that came crashing down from the sky had the strength of a top-tier saint. He hastily blocked the attack, but he was still smashed down from the sky. You guys have really disappointed me by dragging it out until now to destroy a small Yang clan. An old voice sounded in the air. The fire hammer smashed down continuously. Many Yang clan saints were severely injured and vomited blood. The fire hammer was a semi-divine weapon that belonged to the Xing clan. It was wielded by a saint demon saint. He could easily wipe out everyone here. If Yu Chang and wasn't injured by the sneak attack, he might be able to stop it. But now he couldn't do it alone. The Yang clan saints and 2 beast saints were threatened by this saint demon saint. They looked desperate. The saint demon saint didn't show up. He ordered, I want them all dead in an hour. Xing Laoyang, Xing Mingyang, and the others knew who this saint demon saint was. They hurriedly responded with respect. Yes, sir. Just when they were about to kill the Yang clan, a voice sounded from the Yang clan's land. You want to destroy my Yang clan? Have you asked for my permission? Chapter 698. The voice was filled with anger, and everyone in the 9 heavens could hear it clearly. Both the Xing and Yang family members were shocked. They had heard a voice that should not have appeared again. The Yang family's great-grandmother was not dead. This thought appeared in everyone's mind. One of the Xing family members who reacted quickly exclaimed, "Oh no, we've been tricked." The Xing family sages lost their will to fight as they prepared to retreat. The Xing family sage, who had not appeared all this while, exclaimed, "You're just playing tricks. Even if you're not dead, it's just a momentary recovery of consciousness. It's not worth mentioning. Watch how I destroy the Yang family." The fire hammer fell from the sky and struck towards the Yang family's spatial enchantment. However, before the fire hammer could land, a walking stick flew out. The walking stick turned into the shadow of a phoenix and collided with the fire hammer, causing the power of the fire hammer to crumble inch by inch. The sages quickly dodged, afraid that they would be affected by the impact. The fire hammer did not stop there. It struck 18 times in an instant, each strike in a different direction. It was as if it was determined to destroy the Yang family's enchantment. If I don't teach you a lesson, you'll think that the Yang family is easy to bully. Gong Xilan's voice continued to ring out. She struck out with her walking stick continuously, blocking the fire hammer's power. Some of the walking stick's power even hit the void. Bang! The power that hit the void was so strong that it shook the space. There was a scream. The Xing family's top-tier sage was severely injured. Die, Xing family members. After Gong Xilan succeeded in her attack, she continued to attack. The power of her walking stick transformed into a phoenix and flew into the sky. The destructive power was extremely terrifying. Once hit by the phoenix, even a sage would die. The Xing family's sages panicked. They quickly retreated, not daring to block the power of this attack. Suddenly, a burst of power appeared. The void was torn apart, and all of Gong Xilan's attacks were erased. A voice rang out. "Gong Xilan, I didn't expect you to have the strength to use your dying strike. Why don't you come out and fight with me?" A short old man walked out from the void with his body bowed. He did not exude any power and was also holding a walking stick. He was one of those old immortals. When the Xing family saints saw this elder, they all bowed respectfully and said, "Greetings, Supreme Guardian." In the Xing clan, those who were able to become supreme protectors were all people who had reached the heavens. The person in front of him was someone who had reached the Jade Moon realm, Xing Chong. "If you want to fight, then let's fight. I'm not afraid of you." Gong Xilan responded in a domineering manner, and her body quietly appeared above the ninth heaven. The saints of the Yang family were overjoyed and exclaimed, "Greetings, great-grandmother." They thought that Gong Xilan was dead, but who would have thought that not only was she not dead, she seemed to have completely recovered. She looked a lot younger, and her entire body was filled with an incomparably powerful aura. Could it be that great-grandmother faked her death? The Yang clan's saints asked in their hearts. In fact, the Xing family also had the same thought. They felt that they might have really fallen into a trap. Fortunately, one of their supreme elders had come. Otherwise, they would have all been annihilated here. "Gong Xilan, you really are a good schemer." Xing Chong looked at the much younger Gong Xilan and said coldly, "Your Xing clan has wild ambitions. You want to destroy our Yang clan? As long as I'm in the Yang clan, you can forget about it." Gong Xilan coldly snorted and swung her walking stick at Xing Chong. The blue wand cried out in alarm, and the walking stick radiated light. This was the power of the Jade Moon realm. It wasn't something that the Star Rune realm could compare to. The Jade Moon realm was the power above the Star Rune realm. People who reached this realm were called heavenly gods. Xing Chong was also a Jade Moon realm expert. He also swung his walking stick. Black flames formed a poisonous brown that stung the blue wand. When the two waves of power collided, spatial cracks appeared, and spatial turbulence appeared. The destructive power was frightening. It wasn't easy to determine the victor in a short time in a battle of this level. However, Gong Xilan clearly didn't have the patience to exchange blows with Xing Chong. She had just exchanged a blow with Xing Chong when her other hand stabbed out with the Yang clan's ancestral weapon. Xing Chong didn't expect Gong Xilan to have something else up her sleeves. When the dragon-defying spear transformed into a dragon, he was given a fright. The power of the bright moon appeared on his body and enveloped him. He placed his walking stick before his chest and used all his strength to block the attack. Rumble, rumble. The dragon-defying spear was even more terrifying than the azure divine sword. Under Gong Xilan's full power, it was like an extremely powerful, true dragon rampaging through the world. Xing Chang's defensive power was shattered and he was heavily injured. Gong Xilan, you win. Let's go. Xing Chang was heavily injured and scared out of his wits. He did not dare to stay any longer. With a wave of his hand, he unleashed a wave of spatial power, enveloping Xing Laoyang, Xing Mingyang, and the others. He broke through space and brought them away. If I let you escape just like that, where will my Yang clan's face go? Gong Xilan didn't plan on letting it go. She shouted and threw the dragon-defying spear. Bang! The dragon-defying spear soared into the 9 heavens like a true dragon and slammed into the void. The destructive power stabbed towards Xing Chang, who had fled 10,000 miles away. Xing Chang was protecting 20 saints and couldn't completely dodge. He was struck by the dragon-defying spear's power, and a wave of blood splattered into the void. Ah, Gong Xilan, my Xing clan will destroy your Yang clan in the future. Xing Chang was stabbed, and a few of the saints he was protecting were affected by the dragon-defying spear's power. Their saint bodies exploded, and their saint souls couldn't escape either. They died on the spot. The other living sages of the Xing clan were all drenched in cold sweat. The destructive power of the Yang clan's ancestral armament was simply too terrifying. As expected of a battle weapon that had been stained with the blood of countless supreme experts. Even their Xing clan's ancestral armament was inferior to it. The saints of the Xing clan successfully escaped. The saints of the Yang clan survived. They barely managed to hold on in this defensive battle. Yang Qingxing, you're the clan leader, and you don't even know that there's a traitor in the clan. You should give your position to the younger generation and just focus on being the clan's protector. Gong Xilan immediately reprimanded Yang Qingxing after defeating the Xing clan. Yang Qingxing's face was filled with unwillingness. Great-grandmother, I don't accept this. How much have I done for the Yang clan? Without waiting for Yang Qingxing to finish speaking, Gong Xilan interrupted him and said, Don't talk about your meager achievements. A mistake is a mistake. Hand over the azure divine sword. With that, she reached out and took the azure godly sword from Yang Qingxing's hand. Yang Qingxing's face was ashen. He didn't dare to retort. He was afraid that this great-grandmother would really use his past mistakes to send him into eternal damnation. No matter how strong the azure godly sword was, they didn't have an immortal level figure. This was their weakness. No matter how many saints they had, they couldn't compare to an immortal level figure. Everyone returned to the discussion hall. I have something to say to you. Gong Xilan glanced at the saints and said. After pausing for a moment, she waved at Yu Chang and, come here. Yu Chang and didn't refuse. He was injured, but it wouldn't take his life in a short period of time. When he just arrived in front of Gong Xilan sent a palm strike at him. He actually sensed Gong Xilan's attack and wanted to block it. But when this thought surfaced, he gave up. Bang! This palm strike didn't hurt him. It was just a gentle energy that entered his body. It forced out the Xinghua in his body. Xinghua has the ability to devour. Even if it's just a trace of it, it would make people feel unbearable. I help you remove most of it. There's still a little left. You should be able to force it out yourself. Gong Xilan said. Yu Chang bowed. Thank you, great-grandmother. You are still so arrogant. Forget it. After this matter is settled, you can leave the Yang clan anytime. Gong Xilan showed a trace of disappointment. After saying that, she quickly returned to the Yang clan. Yu Chang also returned. He didn't head to the Yang clan's discussion hall. He stayed in the Yang clan because he wanted to protect his mother. If it wasn't for his mother, he would have left long ago. This family never gave him any sense of belonging. Inside the Yang clan's discussion hall, Gong Xilan directly sat on the clan leader's seat. The others stood on her left and right. No one dared to sit. All of them bowed and obediently waited for their great-grandmother to lecture them. Gong Xilan swiftly said, Quickly decide on the next clan leader. You must be motivated and be able to unite the clansmen. Our Yang clan relied on unity to fight for the world. In these few hundred years, our Yang clan has been declining. We are always involved in internal strife. The other clans have long treated us as a joke. Also, when you have nothing to do, go into seclusion and cultivate. If you really can't make any progress in your cultivation, come out and give pointers to the younger generation. Otherwise, what awaits our Yang clan is a dead end. Today the Xing clan came to invade. Who knows if there will be other powers coming tomorrow? Furthermore, the demons have always been eyeing us. Even though we have restrained ourselves in these few years, we cannot be careless. After pausing for a moment, she said, regarding the matter of the ancestor's spirit, you must pay attention to it. You must not make a big deal out of it. Speak less and cultivate more. Only then can you become stronger. Gong Silan lectured the saints. These old men who were over 1,000 years old didn't dare to refute. They obediently listened and silently remembered it in their hearts. The lesson that the Xing clan gave them today was too big. If they didn't reflect on it, the Yang clan would be gone. After Gong Silan finished instructing them, she disappeared from the discussion hall. Just when everyone regained their senses, her voice sounded again. Yu Chang will be appointed as the clan's supreme protector. His descendants will be given the treatment of heaven's chosen. If anyone dares to disrespect him, kill them without mercy. Yes, great-grandmother. The Yang clan's saints all replied in unison. From today onwards, Yu Chang then was destined to write a heavy stroke in the Yang clan's genealogy. Chapter 699. The matter of the Xing clan attacking the Yang clan could not be hidden in the Battle Clan realm. Even though the war race world was vast and boundless, each of the war races had their own powerful figures. Now that the Xing clan and the Yang clan had a fierce conflict, even a Jade Moon realm figure had appeared, it was hard for them not to pay attention. Very quickly, the news of the Xing clan being forced to retreat by the Yang clan spread throughout the Battle Clan realm. The various battle clans did not expect that not only did Gong Silan not die, she even set up a trap to kill a few Xing clan saints. Her intentions were too deep. Everyone once again had a new understanding of the Yang clan great-grandmother. Without absolute confidence, no one would take the initiative to provoke the Yang clan. One had to know that other than the Yang clan great-grandmother, there was still a beast saint that had not made a move. If it was only a beast saint, the various clans would not pay too much attention to it. However, it was said that this beast saint had lived for countless years and could possibly break through to become a beast god. That was only a guess. It could also be false. In any case, it had only appeared once 5,000 years ago and had not been seen since. No matter what, the Yang clan had avoided a calamity this time and even found the traitor. For a very long time, there should not be any major incidents involving the Xing clan. The Battle Clan realm had its own rules. Since the Xing clan had broken the rules, the other clans would definitely warn them. If they did not care about the warning and continued to act on their own, they would definitely be killed by the other clans. The various battle clans were all clans that had contributed greatly to the human race. Even though they fought for their own sake, they did so within the rules. If any of the clans tried to exterminate them before their battle blood was completely destroyed, they would not tolerate it. Other than that, there was another piece of news. The Yang clan great ancestor had appeared once again. The Yang clan's black tortoise bloodline had undergone a new round of awakening. The Yang clan might welcome a new opportunity to become stronger. Regardless of whether this news was true or false, it still attracted the attention of the various clans. The ancient Yang clan had once stood at the top of the various battle clans. If they had the chance to return to their peak, the Battle Clan realm would probably experience a new cycle of alternating prosperity and decline. The Yang clan's forbidden grounds. The Yang clan's forbidden grounds was where the Yang clan great-grandmother lived, and the Yang clan ancestral mausoleum. These two places were not places that anyone could casually enter. Even saints had to ask permission before they could enter. On the third day after the fierce battle between the Yang clan and the Xing clan, at the place where Gong Silan lived, there was a youngster carrying a medicinal cauldron and pouring medicinal liquid onto a piece of land. The medicinal liquid emitted a dense aura of life. It could accelerate the growth of any life. This medicinal liquid was called regeneration liquid. It was an essential medicinal liquid for alchemy. The Xian Yuan family had the tree of rebirth, and the tree of rebirth bore the fruit of rebirth. It was a true divine medicine, and it was precisely because of its existence that the Xian Yuan family had never declined. Now, there was someone in the Yang family who could refine the regeneration liquid. If this news were to spread, it would probably cause a great uproar. In Yang Wu's eyes, this regeneration fluid was just an ordinary saint-grade regeneration fluid. If it was a real, divine-grade regeneration fluid, even a drop of it could help a saint come back to life. Yang Wu would not tell anyone about this matter. Every formula and pill formula was a secret that could not be passed on. Only his own successor could receive the inheritance, and Yang Wu did not have the intention to find a successor. Alchemy was a special alchemy technique that could use herbs to grow Xiantian pills. This technique could be called an immortal technique. Even saint alchemists in the transcendent realm would not have heard of it. Only divine alchemists would have the chance to come into contact with such knowledge. Yang Wu had obtained Little Hei's alchemy inheritance. It could be said that he had the complete knowledge of alchemy. Even divine alchemists might not know as many alchemy recipes as he did. Little Hei's origin was too extraordinary. 7 days have passed. His vitality has clearly increased. It seems like the alchemy technique has succeeded. Yang Wu said as he patted the soil in satisfaction. If people knew that Yang Taihe was buried under the soil of life, it would be disrespectful of Yang Wu to do such a thing. Yang Wu did not care so much. He had been carefully looking after Yang Taihe for the past few days. He had to prepare the medicinal liquid at any time. It was normal for him to have some resentment in his heart. Moreover, Gong Silan even wanted to sacrifice him alive. He repaid evil with good. His heart was already broad enough. After pouring the medicinal liquid, Yang Wu sat on the 9 lotus god throne to cultivate. He had gained a lot in the past 7 days. The 9 lotus god throne's power had decreased by 70 to 80%, but as long as it still had a breath of life, it would be of great use to him. However, Yang Wu did not use its power to continue increasing his strength. Instead, he used its power to refine the god's court Dao flower and strengthen his spiritual power. He found that after becoming a saint, he could engage in spiritual battles. He had to plan ahead and make his battle soul stronger. Other than that, he also practiced the black tortoise hegemonic fist to his heart's content. After many rounds of meditation, he realized that only by activating the power of his bloodline could he unleash the power of the black tortoise hegemonic fist. Every punch and every move contained fist intent. The explosive power was very strong, not inferior to the dragon turtle sea-turning technique. He also began to study the chaotic heavenly armor art to further fuse it with his bloodline power. He fully activated his war blood talent and had the defense of the black tortoise. It was dozens of times stronger than a martial artist of the same level. If he used the chaotic heavenly armor art, he would be even stronger. Yang Wu was cultivating every moment. He did not want to waste any time. He thought to himself, the transcendent realm is too dangerous. If I don't become a saint, I won't be able to protect myself. Then he thought, there's still half a year left until the 1-year agreement with Master. I have to improve as soon as possible so that I won't be tortured by that old man. Time passed, and the 49th day was finally up. On this day, Gong Silan and Qin Feng surrounded Yang Wu. Gong Silan could feel that the life force of Yang Taihe, who was buried in the life soil, had become quite exuberant. Her heart was incomparably happy, and the gaze she used to look at Yang Wu became increasingly benevolent. If it wasn't for Yang Wu, Yang Taihe would have died. She would not have been able to return to the living world. The Yang family would have been wiped out. Can he come out? Gong Silan asked nervously. Yang Wu pondered for a moment and said, I'm still missing a guiding herb. This. Gong Silan's heart was in suspense. Yang Wu didn't wait for her to ask. A dagger had already appeared in his hand, and he cut his wrist. Blood seeped out from his arm and dripped onto the soil of life. He faintly said, refine this guiding herb, and the pill can be formed. The soil of life seemed to have sensed something and released a devouring power, sucking away his blood. When Gong Xilan saw Yang Wu doing this, guilt flashed past her old eyes. She sighed in her heart. I owe this child too much. After Yang Wu let out his blood, his face became pale. He did not plan to sacrifice himself. After letting out a suitable amount of blood, he stopped his bloodline. Actually, planting pills did not require his bloodline. But for his own life, it was better to give up some of his bloodline. I have let out my blood. I hope you can accept my kind intentions and not make things difficult for me. Yang Wu said in his heart. He knew what it meant for his bloodline to revert to its ancestor. If he let Yang Taihe absorb some of it, it would definitely have the effect of a guiding herb. Sure enough, a powerful energy suddenly appeared under the soil of life. A holy light suddenly flickered and appeared. The power of the stars appeared in the 9 heavens. Beams of starlight shot down. The light was incomparably bright and dazzling. It was so dazzling that people could not open their eyes. Profound star chi. This was a power that could only be absorbed by the star pattern realm. Borrowing the power of the stars in the sky, it could erupt with incomparable battle strength. He has activated the power of the stars. Gong Xilan said excitedly. Yang Wu felt that the power of the stars was very majestic. The immortal qi and green bud in his body had the feeling of devouring. They had indeed done so and absorbed a strand of the power of the stars. This gave Yang Wu a big fright. The power of the stars was incomparably powerful. Even if it was just a strand, it was the essence of the stars. It would make him, a small heavenly fish realm warrior, explode. Fortunately, the immortal qi in his body could digest it and replenish the previous loss. Moreover, it was irrigated by the green bud and helped it grow. Suddenly, Yang Wu had a feeling of enlightenment. The power of the stars could grow the green bud and could also strengthen the power of the immortal qi. It was just that with his current strength, he could not absorb the power of the stars unless they took the initiative. Maybe I can discuss with them. The immortal qi definitely does not have consciousness, but the green bud is definitely full of spirit qi. Maybe I can communicate with them. Yang Wu decided on the green bud. Just now, when a strand of the power of the stars entered his body, he could feel that his spotless physique had improved by a little. Maybe he could cooperate with the green bud and forge his body into a saint physique in advance, which was the star saint physique. The power of the stars was getting stronger and stronger. Yang Wu was brought away by Qing Feng to avoid being injured by the power of the stars. The commotion here was not small. Gong Xilan did not want others to know that Yang Taihe had recovered. She activated the formation here and isolated the surroundings. Even a saint would not be able to sense the situation here. The power of the stars continued to fall for more than half a day before it gradually stopped. The life force in the soil of life continued to grow stronger. It was as if what was buried below was not a person, but a star. Once it erupted, it would definitely shake the world. The power of the stars was withdrawn. The heaven and earth profound qi in the surroundings quickly surged over and entered the soil of life. The sacred medicine's essence was swallowed up, and the sacred medicine seemed to have shrunk a lot. Only when it was nighttime did the heaven and earth profound qi completely stop and did not enter the ground. However, the moonlight that was quietly revealed sprinkled down a bit of brilliance that landed on the soil of life. That sacred radiance was different from the rest and attracted everyone's attention. Gong Xilan excitedly said, "Could it be that my son?" Without waiting for her to finish speaking, a shocking sound rang out. Pung. Chapter 700. The place where the earth of life was located suddenly exploded. A figure quietly jumped out from the ground. It was a man who seemed to be in his early 30s. He had long dark blue hair, a pair of blue eyes, like sparkling and translucent sapphires, very moving. His figure was slender and tall, completely exposed. That golden proportion was enough to make any woman scream crazily. My son, my son." After Gong Xilan saw the person who broke out from the ground, she finally couldn't help but cry. The person who broke out from the ground was Yang Taihe, who was planted by Yang Wu for 49 days. He had finally come back from the dead. Yang Taiha looked towards Gong's salon. A blue holy robe appeared on his body, covering his body. Then, he appeared in front of Gong's salon, heavily kneeled down and kowtowed to her, saying, "Unfilial child greets mother." Gong Salon supported Yang Taiha and cried, "My son, quickly get up. Quickly get up. It's good that you are alive. It's good that you are alive." In her heart, there was nothing more important than her son being alive. Yang Taiha didn't argue. He stood up and looked at his aged mother. His heart was incomparably uncomfortable. He wiped away his mother's tears and said softly, "Mother, in the future, leave everything to your son." "Okay, mother will listen to you," Gong Silon promised. Then she pointed at Yang Wu and said, "Come, quickly thank this child. If not for this child, I'm afraid mother will never see you again." Yang Taiha's gaze fell on Yang Wu. Yang Wu felt as if there was a vast ocean rolling towards him, forcing him to be unable to open his eyes. "Young man, thank you. In the future, this ancestor will cover you. Even if you poke the sky, this ancestor will take care of it for you," Yang Taiha confidently promised. 5,000 years, he was miraculously reborn. He would absolutely not repeat the same mistake. The enemy of that year should be trembling. Yang Wu didn't dare to take the credit. He returned the courtesy and said, "Senior is blessed by the heavens. Yang Wu is only following the will of the heavens. You know when to advance and when to retreat. You will definitely surpass me in the future. I will definitely give you the opportunity one promised you. Allow me to have a good reunion with my mother," Yang Taiha said seriously. "Fenger, help me make arrangements for Yang Wu. Tell those 3 fellows that they are not allowed to make a big fuss. They are not allowed to divulge the fact that this child possesses the atavistic bloodline. I don't want the matter of a traitor to appear again. If anything happens to Yang Wu, he will be punished with death by 1,000 cuts." Gong Xilan instructed. "Yes, grandmother," Qing Feng replied and left with Yang Wu. Only Gong Xilan and Yang Taiha, mother and son, were left in the forbidden area. "Mother, your lifespan, you don't have to worry about this. In the coming days, let's have a good gathering and let mother enjoy the happiness of a family reunion. Yes, I will be filial to you. It's all thanks to that child Yang Wu. Mother is very grateful to him. Don't worry, that child has our blood running through his veins. We can sense that. I will nurture him well." As soon as Yang Wu was brought out of the forbidden area by Qing Feng, he was stopped by the 3 holy elders. He's out, Yang Mingrong said while rubbing his hands. Yang Liuyu and Yang Liushi looked at Yang Wu. Their eyes were shining as if they thought Yang Wu was a peerless beauty. They wanted to strip him naked. Yang Wu shrunk his neck and thought to himself, "Don't tell me these 3 old fellows have a fetish for young people. Miss Qing Feng, can you leave this young man to us?" Yang Liuyu said to Qing Feng. The 3 of them had given up on their secluded meditation. They had been waiting for Yang Wu to come out of the forbidden area. They had only one goal, and that was to nurture Yang Wu. They wanted to help Yang Wu become a holy elder within 100 years. "Grandmother wants us to not reveal his identity. We just need to treat him like a normal young man," Qing Feng said to Gong Silon. Yang Liushi quickly shook his head and said, "How can we do that? This child has the blood running through his veins. He will receive our strongest inheritance. We need to help him become stronger quickly." "That's right. We can't treat this child lightly," Yang Mingrong said. "Grandmother said that she doesn't want to see a traitor. You should think about it yourselves," Qing Feng said. Now the 3 holy elders understood. They had become holy elders, so they were very smart. They knew that their grandmother was worried that something would happen to Yang Wu. Yang Liuyu said, "Don't worry. From now on, the 3 of us will take turns to protect him. I guarantee that nothing will happen to him. You can tell him that. I'll just pass on grandmother's message," Qing Feng said. Now, the 3 holy elders could finally get close to Yang Wu. The gazes of the 3 saints kept on looking at Yang Wu, from his head to the soles of his feet, not letting go of any part of him. Yang Wu had already shrunk into a ball under their gaze. He said weakly, 3 seniors, it's so embarrassing for you to look at me like this. Please let me go, I'm still a child." "That's right. You're still a child. If you're treated well, you'll definitely become a piece of jade. Yang Liuyu replied, "You're a very handsome child. You're like an immortal. You're like the reincarnation of our Yang clan's ancestor. From now on, you'll follow us." Yang Liushi praised. "That's right. Look at this child's waist. It's so strong. Look at his skin. It's as delicate as a baby's. It's a pure body. I'm afraid it's comparable to a small holy body. It's really a peerless piece of jade," Yang Mingrong said as she pinched Yang Wu's arm. Yang Wu had goosebumps. He was about to be disgusted by these 3 holy elders. "3 elders, please let me go. I still want to see my grandfather." Yang Wu begged. We'll make arrangements for your grandfather. We won't let him suffer. Come with us now. We'll draw up a cultivation plan for you. We'll strive to help you break through to the dragon transformation realm within 5 years and become a holy saint within 100 years. Yang Liuyu said decisively. Yang Wu wasn't in the mood to cultivate with them. He said seriously, "I won't hide it from you 3 elders. Elder Taiha has already promised to train me with all his might. I'm afraid I'll let you 3 elders down." To the side, Blue Phoenix looked surprised. She clearly hadn't expected Yang Wu to bring up Yang Taiha. She wanted to stop him from continuing, but she hesitated and didn't say anything. Yang Taiha had come back from the dead. This was a big matter. It wasn't appropriate to make a big deal out of it. It would be best to keep it a secret until he completely recovered. If someone didn't know better and came to provoke the Yang clan, they would be able to catch them off guard. These 3 holy elders were all part of the Black Tortoise bloodline. There shouldn't be any problems with their character. Yang Wu had already let it slip, so there was no way to keep it secret. Little ancestor Taiha has recovered? Yang Mingrong cried out in surprise. That must be the case. The star energy we sensed before was drawn in by little ancestor Taiha, Yang Liushi said with certainty. "Ah, that's great. Little ancestor Taiha has recovered. This is a joyous occasion for our Yang clan," Yang Liuyu said excitedly. Blue Phoenix said from the side, "Little ancestor has recovered a little, but he's still very far from his peak. This matter must be kept a secret. If it gets out, grandmother won't let you off." The 3 holy elders shivered. They all said that they wouldn't spread this news. Yang Taiha's seniority was higher than theirs. Thinking of this, they felt very depressed. If what Yang Wu said was true, Yang Taiha would be better than them in teaching him. After all, Yang Taiha's talent was extraordinary, and his fighting strength was even more extraordinary. Even if he had not recovered to his peak, he was more than enough to guide Yang Wu. "All right, since little ancestor Taiha is personally teaching you, then we can rest assured. However, if there's anything in the future that little ancestor finds inconvenient, you can come find us," Yang Liuyu said. In any case, no matter who taught Yang Wu, as long as Yang Wu could truly grow, they would be happy. They hoped that Yang Wu would become the #1 person in the Yang clan in the future. They hoped that Yang Wu would become the #1 person in the Battle Clan realm. Come, I'll give you an imperial edict. If you encounter any danger, remember to tear it open. It can protect your life." Yang Mingrong took out an imperial edict and said, Yes, we can't teach you, but we can give you something to protect you. I have 3 imperial edicts that I made recently for you." Yang Liu generously took out 3 imperial edicts. Yang Liushi took out a sharp dagger and said, "This is a holy weapon. Drip some essence blood on it, and it'll be yours. This might not be enough. I have a set of top-tier little sacred armor. As long as you don't encounter a holy weapon, you won't have a problem staying alive." Yang Mingrong took out another set of little sacred armor. Yang Liuyu and Yang Liushi continued to take out their treasures. They wished they could give everything they had to Yang Wu. They wanted to make sure nothing went wrong. Yang Wu was touched by the 3 holy elders. In all his life, no one had ever been so nice to him. They gave him holy weapons just like that. They didn't even frown. His heart felt warm. Yang Wu bowed deeply to them and said, "3 seniors, I appreciate your kindness, but if you give me so many good things, I'll become lazy with holy weapons. It won't be good for my growth. Why don't you just give me 8 or 10 holy weapons? As for the little sacred weapons, I don't think I'll need them." The 3 holy elders thought Yang Wu was very sensible, but when they heard the second half of what the kid said, They were so angry that their beards almost blew away. This kid really knew how to climb up the ladder. Qing Feng almost laughed out loud. She was also amused by Yang Wu's words. Good kid. It seems like you're quite crafty. We're relieved. We'll give you an imperial edict. We'll take back the rest. Yang Liuyu stroked his beard. Not bad, not bad. If you don't like my little sacred armor, then I'll keep it. My holy dagger's quality is still a bit lacking, so I won't give it to you. When I have a top-tier holy weapon, I'll give it to you. Don't, 3 seniors. I'm still so weak, and I'm so talented. If I'm not careful, I'll provoke a strong enemy. If you don't give me something good to protect myself, I'll be killed in minutes. You don't want to see a peerless monster like me die, do you? Chapter 701. Yang Wu and the 3 elders had a friendly discussion. In the end, the 3 elders gave him several imperial edicts, a holy dagger, and a set of top-grade defensive lesser sacred armor. There are also some combat skills for cultivation. Many of the holy grade items were taken back by the 3 sages. The 3 sages were all shrewd people. They could see that Yang Wu was a little crafty fellow. To be able to reach the heavenly fish realm at such a young age and subdue people like Yang Ba and the white-haired demoness, it was truly amazing. The things they gave were enough to protect Yang Wu. They took out a jade tablet and had Yang Wu drip a bit of essence blood on it. This was Yang Wu's life imprint. In the future, if anything happened to Yang Wu, it would lose its luster and signify his death. This jade tablet had another use, and that was to calculate Yang Wu's location. However, only saint-level characters could do this. Yang Wu almost fainted at the thought of losing blood again. He said to the 3 elders, "I'm dizzy with blood." He had lost a lot of blood recently and had yet to replenish it. It was impossible for him not to faint. The 3 sages didn't care whether Yang Wu agreed or not. They dripped his essence blood on the jade tablet before letting Yang Wu and Qing Feng leave. No, I have to replenish my blood. Yang Wu clenched his teeth. The Yang family has an ancestral blood pool that can increase bloodline power. You can go there later. Qing Feng said from the side. Really? That's great. Yang Wu said excitedly. However, that place only allows people below king level or king level to enter. Qing Feng added, "Hey, Sister Feng, that's not a good thing." Yang Wu spread out his hands and said. He paused for a moment and asked again, "Then can you give me some sacred materials that can replenish my blood? I'm not greedy. I'll only give you a few stalks of sacred medicine and a few hundred stalks of small sacred medicine. I think it should be enough to replenish my lost blood essence." Qing Feng rolled her eyes at Yang Wu and continued to lead the way. "You're from the Yang family. When you return to the family, you'll have the opportunity to go to the ancestral blood pool. Someone will inform you when it opens." Yang Wu was overjoyed. He pointed at the buildings around the Yang family and asked where they were. Qing Feng didn't answer Yang Wu's question. She just continued to lead the way. Yang Wu didn't feel angry. Admiring her soft back and perky buttocks from behind was also a kind of enjoyment. Even though Qing Feng was a spirit demon in human form, the transcendent realm didn't forbid the romance between humans and demons. Yang Wu was just enjoying it. He didn't have any dirty thoughts. On the way, they met many people from the Yang family. These people didn't recognize the 2 of them at all. They had never seen Qing Feng before. Only the higher-ups knew of her existence. Yang Wu hadn't shown his face in the Yang family yet, so others didn't recognize him. The people from the Yang family all whispered when they saw the 2 of them. "Who are those 2? That woman is so beautiful. She's even prettier than the #1 beauty in our family. Sure, be careful. Who knows, there might be some big shot who isn't in the family often. Who's that young man? Since when did our Yang family allow strangers to walk around as they please? Let the law enforcement team come and take a look. They don't look ordinary. Since they dare to walk around so openly, they might really be from our Yang family." Qing Feng originally wanted to bring Yang Wu to experience the Yang family splendor. However, when she heard so many people pointing at them, she couldn't take it anymore. She threw out a force that enveloped Yang Wu's body and quickly disappeared with Yang Wu. In the next moment, Yang Wu was brought to a courtyard by Qing Feng. Qing Feng said, "This is where you live." After she finished speaking, She didn't wait for Yang Wu to react and disappeared in front of his eyes. "Hey, Sister Foam, how can you just leave like that? Is this where I live?" Yang Wu cried out in alarm. Yang Wu's voice wasn't soft. It startled the people in the courtyard. Someone walked out of the house. It was Yang Jingtao, Shu Yujun, and the others. Yang Jingtao excitedly shouted, "You're finally here." Yang Wu. After Shu Yujun saw Yang Wu, a flower-like smile appeared on her face. Lei Zhongjuan, Yang Ba Bai Luoyin, and the 5 heroes all saluted and greeted, "Greetings, Lord." Yang Jinlong let out a thunderous cry, "Father!" In the next moment, he turned into a slender shadow and swept towards Yang Wu. He coiled around Yang Wu's arm and stuck out his tongue to lick Yang Wu's face. Yang Jinlong treated Yang Wu as his father. After not seeing Yang Wu for so many days, he missed him very much. Yang Wu gently stroked Yang Jinlong's head and said in astonishment, "Hey, you broke through to the intermediate demon king realm." "Yes, father. I broke through a few days ago." Yang Jinlong replied. "Good, keep up the good work. I'll give you something good to eat later." Yang Wu was satisfied. Then, he greeted everyone one by one and asked Yang Jingtao, "Grandfather, is this where we live?" "Yes, we successfully recognized our ancestors and returned to the clan. This is the place that the clan arranged for us to live." "It looks good," Yang Jingtao replied with a smile. It was said that people were in high spirits when they were happy. Yang Jingtao looked more than 10 years younger than before. There were not many clan members who could have their own small courtyard in the vicinity. He was very satisfied to be assigned such a small courtyard. However, Yang Wu did not think so. When he walked with Qing Feng for a while, he saw that the courtyard and pavilion on the other side were very impressive. However, this small courtyard in front of him was definitely the kind that was not eye-catching in the entire Yang clan. However, Yang Wu was relieved very quickly. Originally, there were people in the Yang clan who did not welcome them back. It was already good enough that they arranged a place for them to live. Since they were already here, they should take things as they came. Now, he had solved such a big crisis for the Yang clan and saved their ancestor. He believed that in the future, the Yang clan would make some changes. At the same time, Yang Wu was very satisfied with the people who followed him. In a situation where his future was uncertain, they were still willing to follow him. There was no problem with their loyalty. Shu Yujun did not leave him. He felt very guilty towards her. She was the dignified young miss of Mount Hong. How could he have the face to cruelly reject her feelings? Yang Wu and the others entered the house together. Yang Wu told them some of the things that had happened recently. He omitted the important parts and only said that he had been recognized by the Yang clan. In the future, he would be a part of the Yang clan. He could be considered as someone who had a backer. The happiest person was Yang Jingtao. He believed that Yang Wu would be able to gain a foothold in the Yang clan. He was only worried that Yang Wu's impatience would easily offend people. Now, it seemed that the matter had been resolved. Shu Yujun was a little worried about Yang Wu's return to the Yang clan. The holy war that had happened in the Yang clan was still vivid in her mind. Guardian Elder Wang Yuyang advised her to leave the Yang clan. She did not do so because she hoped to persuade Yang Wu to leave after seeing him. Shu Yujun was a straightforward person. She said what she thought and did not mind bringing up this matter in front of Yang Jingtao. The 5 heroes of the Proud Sword all agreed with Shu Yujun. They were also afraid that something would happen to Yang Wu. Currently, the Yang clan was in troubled times and was not safe. Yang Wu also had concerns about this problem. However, when he saw his grandfather's troubled expression, he immediately rejected their suggestion. Not long after they chatted, someone suddenly asked to see them. Yang Jingtao went out to take a look. It turned out that there was a person called Yang Yun, who claimed to be the butler arranged by the clan. He also brought along a few servants. These servants were male and female, and there were a total of 6 of them. Yang Jingtao was stunned for a moment. He looked at the other party and said, "Are you mistaken? Why would the clan arrange a butler and servants for us? You are young Master Yang Wu's grandfather, right?" Yang Yun asked. Yang Yun was a good-natured middle-aged man. He was not tall and dressed neatly. He always had a faint smile on his face. He really did look like an excellent butler. The servants beside him were all younger. They looked to be under 30 years old. Everyone's strength had reached the earth-sea realm. There were 2 women and 4 men. The women were beautiful and exquisite, their figures enchanting, while the men were introverted and calm, each of them exuding an imposing aura. If they were in an ordinary force, they would be regarded as proud sons of heaven. But in the Yang family, they were just ordinary members. Because they were not direct descendants and did not have rich cultivation resources, they were willing to become servants of some direct descendants, hoping to obtain some cultivation resources from their masters to help them become stronger. Yang Jingtao nodded and said, "Yang Wu is my grandson. Then there's no mistake. We were arranged by the clan to serve you," Yang Yun said with certainty. Yang Jingtao was put in a difficult position. He could not make up his mind at the moment. He could only invite them into the house and discuss it with Yang Wu later. When Yang Wu saw Yang Yun and the others, he could see through the strength of the 6 people except for Yang Yun. However, he could not see through Yang Yun's strength, which surprised him. He had reached the advanced heavenly fish realm. Even ordinary dragon transformation realm experts could not hide their aura in front of him, but Yang Yun could. He could not help but suspect that Yang Yun had the strength of an intermediate or even advanced dragon transformation realm expert. Since the clan arranged for you to come, then you can stay. Everything in the courtyard will be taken care of by you in the future, Yang Wu said to Yang Yun and the others. Yes, young Master Yang Wu. Yang Yun and the others bowed and replied. Immediately after, Yang Wu asked them, "Your stipends come from the clan, right?" Yang Yun was stunned for a moment before replying. "Other than me, their stipends should be paid by you, young master." "No way. The clan took the initiative to arrange servants for me, and they actually want me to pay them? Then you can stay. The rest of you can go back," Yang Wu said unhappily. "Young master, that's not very good. Their stipends don't cost much Xian spirit stones. Every young master in the clan has 8 to 10 servants. It doesn't cost much. I'm poor now. Why don't you take care of them for me first? Is that really okay?" Chapter 702. Yang Wu wasn't a petty person who liked to haggle, but he was unhappy with the Yang family's arrangement. The other party had arranged a remote place for them to stay, and his grandfather was still deeply grateful. Now that he had sent people to serve them and even asked them to pay for the service fee, he was even more unhappy. However, even though he was unhappy, in the end, after the housekeeper Yang Yun reluctantly agreed to pay the service fee for him, he let the 6 people stay. The faces of the 6 servants turned ugly. Although they didn't have much status in the Yang family, their cultivation talent wasn't weak either. They were basically destined to follow the most outstanding young master in the family. But now that they were arranged to stay here and heard that it was the young master of the Sin's bloodline, they didn't feel good about it. Now that they saw Yang Wu haggling over every little thing, they almost flung their sleeves and left. They were also people with dignity. "All right, Yang Ba, they will be under your care from now on," Yang Wu said to Yang Ba. "Yes, my lord." Yang Ba stood up and responded. Then he glanced at the 6 people. His domineering gaze shot into the eyes of the 6 people, forcing them to quickly lower their heads, not daring to show the slightest bit of dissatisfaction. Yang Ba was at the peak of the heavenly fish realm, and it wouldn't be long before he could break through to the dragon transformation realm. How could an Earth-Sea realm warrior withstand his might? "All right, you guys go and prepare a welcome banquet for me," Yang Wu ordered Yang Yun. After a pause, he said, "In the future, you will pay for the family's expenses. If you're unhappy, you can apply to the family to leave." "Yes, young master. This old servant will do his best and take care of everything." Yang Yun didn't have any complaints and agreed honestly. Then, Yang Yun brought a few servants to prepare the welcome banquet. Yang Jingtao felt that Yang Wu was too much and couldn't help but criticize Yang Wu. Yang Wu didn't mind. His grandfather would understand his good intentions later. Then, Yang Wu asked Lei Zhongjuan about the white-haired demoness. She wasn't brought to the Yang family. Lei Zhongjuan told Yang Wu that the white-haired demoness had temporarily settled down in the Yang family city. Yang Wu was relieved to know that she was fine. This was a thug he got with great difficulty. He couldn't let her go like this. Moreover, the Yang family and the Xing family had already shed all pretenses of cordiality. Leaving the white-haired demoness behind was a logical thing to do. After the welcome banquet was served, Yang Wu and everyone had a good meal together and spoke a lot of heroic words. From today onwards, Yang Wu could be considered to have settled down. However, he still had a lot of things to do. He had to make arrangements for his younger brothers. Otherwise, it wouldn't be good if he failed to live up to the expectations of his younger brothers. After the welcome banquet, Yang Wu called Yang Ba, Bai Luoyun, and the 5 heroes roving sword to the yard for a talk. All of you have been loyal to me all this time. It has been hard on all of you. From today onwards, you will understand that you won't lose out if you follow me. Yang Wu patted his chest and said, "For those who haven't broken through to the heavenly fish realm, I will help you break through to the heavenly fish realm within 3 months. For those who have broken through to the heavenly fish realm, I will reforge your body. Not only will it increase your realm, but it will also make your body stronger. Your potential will be even greater. Believe me, I am now a minor saint alchemist." Only Lei Zhongjuan, Shu Yujun, and Yang Wu knew that Yang Wu had become a minor saint alchemist. The others didn't know. When they heard Yang Wu's announcement, their eyes lit up. "We will follow you until death." Everyone knelt down on one knee and said, "Get up. This is what you deserve. If you have any questions about cultivation in the future, you can ask Lei Zhongjuan. I believe he is qualified to teach you." Yang Wu pointed at Lei Zhongjuan and said, Nobody knew where Lei Zhongjuan came from. They could feel waves of yin qi coming from him, which made them feel uncomfortable. However, they also understood that he was an extraordinary expert. Lei Zhongjuan stood out and said with a faint smile, "My lord thinks highly of me. I will teach these kids well." Yang Ba said unhappily, "What makes you think you can do that?" "Because I can kill you with one strike." Lei Zhongjuan glanced at Yang Ba and said faintly, "You think?" Yang Ba glared at Lei Zhongjuan and replied. Before he could finish, Lei Zhongjuan's palm had already grabbed Yang Ba's neck, making him unable to speak. He had already recovered the strength of a peak minor saint. Even if he was in ghost form, killing Yang Ba was as easy as flipping his hand. Bai Luoyun and the 5 heroes looked at Lei Zhongjuan with a different gaze. They dare not question Yang Wu's words anymore. After Yang Wu had arranged his men, he took the time to have a good chat with Shu Yujun. He really didn't know what to say to this woman. When he was in Hung Shan's sect, he had clearly rejected her kindness. Who knew that she would choose to follow him to the Yang family? They had gone through trials and tribulations together. Their relationship was very deep. Shu Yujun took a bath. Her whole body was glowing. Her light blue gauze dress accentuated her curvy figure. Her bright eyes looked straight at Yang Wu and said with a faint smile, "Yang Wu, your cultivation realm seems to have improved again." Yang Wu was embarrassed by Shu Yujun's gaze. He scratched the back of his head and said with a smile, "It's only improved a little. It's still not as good as you. In terms of combat strength, I'm afraid I've been left far behind by you." Shu Yujun said with a trace of bitterness. Previously, she had taken a fancy to Yang Wu because of his amazing potential. She felt that only such a young man was worthy of her. At the same time, she couldn't deny that she had a liking for young men. Who asked Yang Wu to be so handsome? After spending some time with Yang Wu, she found that Yang Wu was even more outstanding and had fallen deeper. Yang Wu's cultivation realm was already close to hers. If this continued, she was afraid that she would be left far behind by Yang Wu. At that time, she wouldn't be able to maintain her pride in front of him. "If you want to improve quickly, I can help you," Yang Wu said casually. After he said that, he felt that his mouth was cheap. She was the big miss of Hung Shan's sect. Why would she need his help? Really? Then you'll have to help me. It's best if you help me step by step, Shu Yujun said sincerely as she leaned close to Yang Wu. The fragrance of her bath quietly entered Yang Wu's nose. Her faintly discernible snow-white neckline immediately caused Yang Wu's anger to rise sharply. Yang Wu stepped back to create some space. "We're good friends. If I can help, I'll do my best." "Just good friends," Shu Yujun said with a sorrowful expression. During this time, She had put down her airs as a big miss and followed Yang Wu through fire and water. What she was waiting for was not the 3 words, "good friends," from Yang Wu. Yang Wu said guiltily, I told you a long time ago. Actually, I already have someone in my heart. She must be very outstanding. Can you tell me about her? Shu Yujun asked while suppressing the bitterness in her heart. After all, she wasn't a little girl and wouldn't easily throw a tantrum at Yang Wu. Moreover, Yang Wu hadn't lied to her from beginning to end. It had always been her own wishful thinking. At least now, their relationship had improved a step further. Yang Wu briefly explained his relationship with Ziyu. In his heart, he was actually a bit afraid that Shu Yujun would leave him after hearing this. He didn't know when he had started to care about her. So they're childhood sweethearts. No wonder I can't win against her. But I won't give up like this. Shu Yujun forced herself to be spirited. Why do you have to be like this? Yang Wu sighed. There are some things you'll regret if you don't do them. Even if the result isn't ideal, at least I've tried my best, right? Shu Yujun approached Yang Wu and said seriously. Yang Wu avoided Shu Yujun's gaze and pointed to the moon that was covered by dark clouds. Look, the moon tonight is so beautiful. Shu Yujun raised her head and looked at the moon that was about to disappear. She softly said, Yes, it's very beautiful. After pausing for a moment, she said, Can you bring me to the roof to take a look? Yang Wu hesitated for a moment, but still reached out his hand and said in a very gentlemanly manner, I'm willing to serve, Big Miss. Immediately, Shu Yujun smiled incomparably happily. She put her delicate hand on Yang Wu's palm and let Yang Wu pull her to the roof. That night, she leaned on Yang Wu's shoulder and quietly fell asleep. The next day, Grandfather, since you've already acknowledged your ancestors, when will you return to the mortal world and bring my parents and younger brother here? Yang Wu asked Yang Jingtao. I've been thinking about this recently. It's indeed time to go back. I can't let your parents suffer, Yang Jingtao replied. He then said, Let's wait for a month. After we've adapted to the family and are clear about the rules here, we'll go back. All right, but Grandfather, I'm temporarily unable to accompany you back. I'll arrange for someone to accompany you back. I still have things to take care of. When my parents come back, I'll apologize to them. Yang Wu said with an apologetic expression. It's fine. Grandfather can go back and take care of such a small matter. Your matter is more important. Yang Jingtao waved his hand. Yang Jingtao was very clear about Yang Wu's great potential. He didn't want to delay Yang Wu's cultivation time, nor did he want to be a burden to Yang Wu. He hoped that this grandson of his would be able to make a name for himself in the transcendent world. Thank you, Grandfather, for your understanding, Yang Wu replied. He really had no time to spare. He had an appointment with his chief master in a year, so he had to rush to the Heavenly Palace ruins. He had already wasted a lot of time. Once he finished dealing with the Yang family's matters, he would leave for the Heavenly Palace ruins. After Yang Wu accompanied his grandfather for a while, Yang Yin suddenly reported, Master, Yang Hongchong and Yang Jia have come to visit. Yang Wu was overjoyed. Quickly invite them in. Chapter 703. After Yang Hongchong came out of the City of Redemption, he broke through to the top-level Heavenly Fish Realm. Yang Jia, on the other hand, had been in seclusion after returning to the family and had also successfully broken through to the Heavenly Fish Realm. Recently, both of their bloodline talents had been improved. Yang Hongchong had reached 50% bloodline power, and his battle chi had reached the point of condensing the shadow of the black tortoise. Yang Jia's bloodline power had almost reached 50%, which was already quite good. The person they should be most grateful to was Yang Wu, but they did not know that it was because of Yang Wu that their bloodline had improved. The family had completely blocked the news about Yang Wu's bloodline atavism. When Yang Jia saw Yang Wu, he immediately said guiltily, Martial Heavenly King, I'm sorry. I'm useless. Previously, Yang Jia was the first to return to the Yang family to solve the matter of Yang Jingtao's return to the family. Unfortunately, he was placed under house arrest at the first opportunity and could not be of any help at all. He could only take the opportunity to break through to the Heavenly Fish Realm and use it to improve his status in the family. Yang Wu waved his hand and said, "It's all in the past. Don't mention it again." Yang Hanchang smiled and said, "Yes, Marshal Heavenly King is right. Everything has come to a successful end. Welcome to our Yang family. From now on, you are one of us." Yang Wu said with a smile, "Yes, you two are my friends in the Yang family. What rules do you have in the Yang family? You still have to nag me and my grandfather." Yang Wu knew the character of Yang Hanchang and Yang Jie. These two were still good people. Now that they had returned to the family, he had to use them to quickly integrate into the family. This would be of great help to his grandfather and his parents when they came in the future. Although the saints of the Yang family were good to him, and he had Yang Taihe to back him up, their status was extraordinary. It was simply a small matter to let them handle some family matters. Well said, well said. This time we're here to tell you the details of our Yang family." Yang Hanchang responded politely. After that, he and Yang Jie took turns to explain the current situation and rules of the Yang family. The Yang family occupied 1 city and 7 counties of the Yang family. There were more than a dozen third- or fourth-rate forces or families nearby. They also occupied more than a dozen small mineral veins in the world of battles. Their main income came from these small mineral veins, some of their own industries, and tributes from their affiliated forces. Now, their income was declining day by day. If they could not make changes, they would not be able to make ends meet in the future. Overall, the Yang family's forces could no longer be considered a first-rate force and could barely be considered a second-rate force. In the Yang family, there were many rules such as seniority, relationships, cultivation resources, seniority, and so on. After the narration, Yang Jingtao and Yang Jinghai were one of the elders of the Jing generation. As for Yang Wu, he was 1 generation older than Yang Hanchang and belonged to the generation of Zhe. Yang Hanchang had to call him uncle, while Yang Jie had to call him granduncle. When Yang Wu heard about this seniority, he was instantly delighted. According to his generation, he was already considered an elder in the Yang family, not to mention that his grandfather was comparable to the elders of the Yang family. In the future, when he walked in the family, many people would have to call him uncle or granduncle. It seemed to be quite a good feeling. "Hanchang, come and call me uncle," Yang Wu joked to Yang Hanchang. Yang Hanchang revealed an extremely awkward expression. He cupped his hands and saluted. Hanchang greets Uncle Wu. In the Yang family, etiquette could not be abolished. This was the rule. "Haha, no need for etiquette." Yang Wu laughed heartily, then looked at Yang Jie and said, "Come, Yang Jie, it's your turn." Yang Jie was more shameless than Yang Hanchang. This guy bowed 90 degrees and said, "Yang Jie greets granduncle. Please take care of me in the future. If you have any good pills, remember to think of me. I'm not a greedy person. If you give me 10 pills a month, I'll be satisfied." After that, Yang Wu sent Yang Jie flying with a kick. He didn't contribute anything and dared to ask for pills. He was tired of living. What was the point of having this kind of grandson? Returning to the main topic, Yang Hanchang and Yang Jie came this time to first recognize the Yang family and second to tell Yang Wu that the Yang family was preparing for the new patriarch's ascension ceremony. The time was set for 7 days later. The new patriarch was Yang Wu's old acquaintance Yang Jinghai. This sea dragon king ascended to the patriarch's throne and officially took over Yang Qingxing's position. Yang Wu's view of Yang Jinghai completely changed. He felt that the other was not bad and that it was good for him to take over the patriarch's position. The patriarch's ascension was a big matter. Various factions would come to visit and give gifts. The Yang family had to be prepared to receive them. Even if the Yang family had declined, they still had some influence. There would be some first-rate factions that they were on good terms with. They would definitely send people to attend the ceremony. From Yang Wu's point of view, this matter did not have much to do with him. They had just joined the Yang family, so there was no need for them to personally attend the ceremony. They just had to obediently stay here. Who knew that Yang Hanchang would say, "The patriarch specifically said that you must attend this ceremony. He will personally announce that you have returned to the family records and that Yang Ba's matter will be resolved." Is that so? Then just let my grandfather go. Why must I attend? Yang Wu felt that Yang Hanchang might be hiding some ulterior motive. Yang Hanchang smiled. Because we need you to intimidate the younger generation of those factions. After a pause, he continued, the Patriarch's ascension is a big matter. Various factions will come to visit, so there will definitely be some entertainment. According to the customs of our battle tribe, we will send out the younger generation of the clan to spar with the younger generation of the clan to show off our strength. This is related to the clan's reputation. Among the younger generation of the clan, there is probably no one in the heavenly fish realm who can compare to you. Thus, you must attend and help our clan hold the fort. Not interested, Yang Wu refused without hesitation. He was not someone who liked to be in the limelight, not to mention that there was no benefit to it. He did not feel a sense of belonging to the Yang clan for the time being. He had already done a lot for the Yang clan, but before he could get any benefits, he had already lost a lot of essence blood. Don't be in such a hurry to refuse. The Patriarch said that whoever can perform outstandingly will open the ancestral blood pool and let those who perform well soak in it. Yang Hanchang hurriedly said. The ancestral blood pool is the place that can increase one's blood qi? Yang Wu asked. That's right. That place can increase the power of our bloodline. Perhaps we can even obtain the inheritance of our ancestors. Everyone only has one chance in their lifetime, so we can't miss it. Yang Jie ran back, his eyes shining. The ancestral blood pool is one of the roots of our Yang clan, Yang Hanchang emphasized. Yang Wu pondered for a moment before saying, all right, Yang Ba will be enough to oversee this matter. With Yang Ba stepping in, the Heavenly Fish Realm competition will naturally not be a big problem. But just in case, I think you should also attend the ceremony, Yang Hanchang strongly advised. All right, I'll go and take a look when the time comes. Yang Wu no longer pretended and agreed. Yang Hanchang and Yang Jie were completely relieved. They were especially looking forward to seeing Yang Wu make a name for himself in the family 7 days later. They believed that Yang Wu was not a guy who was willing to be lonely. After Yang Hanchang and Yang Jie left, Yang Wu locked himself in his room and began refining medicinal liquids and pills, preparing to give a round of improvement to the people around him. None of the medicinal liquids and pills he refined directly increased one's realm. Instead, they helped rebuild their physical strength, consolidate their foundation, and strengthen their foundation. This would help them gain more advantages in the process of improvement. As an alchemist, Yang Wu had to make good use of this advantage. For 3 consecutive days, the power of heavenly lightning struck down from time to time. Even the Yang clan's barrier could not isolate this kind of heavenly punishment. At first, the nearby Yang clan members were still wondering what was going on. But after 3 consecutive days of heavenly lightning, they realized that the newcomers were terrifyingly capable. So, some people began to inquire about what was happening here, but were stopped by the steward, Yang Yun. However, the Yang clan members were not fools. Soon, some people were able to confirm that this was a pill tribulation. For a time, the neighbors began to talk about it. Could it be that one of the newcomers is an alchemist? It should be so. The consecutive pill tribulations are so obvious. As neighbors, they should be able to enjoy some preferential treatment in the future. How can we cultivate if they quarrel like this every day? Go and tell them that if they want to refine pills, they can go somewhere else. Pills that can attract pill tribulations are at least king pills. This alchemist is not weak. It will be good to be on good terms with him. Since when did Lord Yang Yun become their housekeeper? This is going to scare my little darling to death. What? Lord Yang Yun is the steward of Saint Elder Lu Yu. How can he be their steward? It seems that the newcomers are terrifyingly capable. The surrounding neighbors were all very curious about this newcomer. Not far from here, there was an independent courtyard. This courtyard occupied a large area, comparable to the elder's courtyard. There were several pavilions in the courtyard, and a pair of grandfather and grandson lived in one of the pavilions. This pair of grandfather and grandson were not from the Yang clan, but they held important positions in the Yang clan. They were the Yang clan's consecrated elders and enjoyed the treatment of a senior elder. For the past 3 days, this pair of grandfather and grandson had been paying attention to the direction of the courtyard where the pill tribulation fell, revealing a curious look. This pair of grandfather and grandson were one old and one young, a man and a woman. The old man was very old, and most of his hair had fallen out. His forehead was extremely bright, and his eyebrows and hair hung down to his chin. His back was much hunched. The young girl looked to be around 17 or 18 years old. She was not tall, but she was delicate and beautiful. Her chest was extremely ferocious, as if it would burst out of her clothes at any time. There was a string of silver ornaments on her forehead, which added a bit of charm to her. "Grandfather, do you think this is the new alchemist that the Yang clan invited?" The young girl asked the old man. The old man smiled faintly and replied, "It's possible, but why did they arrange for him to stay there?" "Grandfather doesn't know. Maybe they were afraid of provoking us. I'll find a chance to see this person who came to cause trouble."